Hello, everyone. It is Tuesday, the 19th of March, 2024, and I've been trying to get out daily videos just because when I do the live streams, I do get more reach just because I'm still very heavily censored, shadow banned, and algorithms pushed down when my content's out there, and it has been for a few years. And friendly reminder that I've had a few YouTube accounts deleted on me. I've been part of the mefloquine mass tort since like at least 2018, like maybe even earlier than that, but part of a mass tort with a legal team out of Toronto to sue the government, not for money, I'm on the record saying that, but to change policies regarding forced inoculations and stuff like that before deployments and stuff like that, or even just to work within your trade. And that kept on getting delayed. And then the pandemic arrived. And so anyway, it's just been like a really rough, yet again, 24 hours. And like my ex, who I have a dog with, who didn't help at all with the frigging dog. But anyways, we were talking, again, we don't talk often. We rarely see each other. And we haven't been together in years, like in any capacity. But he's still visited every once in a while, every few months or something like that, the dogs. And just the conversation around my age and the fact that we've known each other for over 7 years now. And then the conversation was around, and this is what I mean, like you could be the best person in the world and you can have even the people that know you and supposed to be in your corner or the closest to you, because I never cheated on him. I never lied. I never stole any of that stuff. We separated during the pandemic for various reasons, like because of things that were happening to me, because of what I was sharing. And like I've shared with you guys, where I've had to file third-party police reports, where I had like men in vests that were not Canadian that tried to break into my home, circled my block. This is all on the record. I've shared this. The friggin' boot print, like on my back step, like right off my patio kitchen, terrifying, like in my little gated yard too. So again, breaking into my property to do that, terrifying. Again, this is like just in the last 7 years. So he was asking me, I was called selfish. And I don't even know where that came from. And I'm just like, what do you mean? He's just like, well, you don't do anything for anyone else. And he's just like, and I was just like, oh, really? And he's like, give examples. And I'm like, well, since you've known me, I've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to charities that I don't have. I don't even have that. I just, with me, I always have been someone that has always donated to charities, good ones. And so Wild Woods Wilderness Retreat, I gave a lot of money to that to get an entire area built in Denali, I believe it is. But anyways, in Alaska and stuff like that. And have given to my family, especially in the last few years, because they're struggling. I'm struggling too. And I'm deciding between food and friggin' oil, you know what I mean, during the friggin' winter months. And I'm still having to give to family so that they don't get home, so that they're not homeless. All right. And then I'm part of our operational stress injury social support, which is a peer support network for people that have like operational stress injuries. And I do. I've had complex PTSD. I was diagnosed in 2008, like many years ago, and things got worse from there. And so I have gone out to multiple different communities where I've taken firearms off of people who were suicidal and just didn't want to have them around because they were afraid of what they were going to do. Again, like the first responder types, like for me, it's like 99% men that I'm responding to for these calls or to help, or people reaching out to me from all over Canada or the world because they've heard that I've helped people. So I've taken people to the hospital to get medications because they were too afraid to go on their own, because again, just like nervous about so many different things, being locked up or all this crazy stuff. And I could go on all these friggin' tangents. And again, even with like my volunteer work, not just that, which is stressful enough, but also with the Ottawa mission, I've been a facilitator with Discovery University for years, like even before the friggin' pandemic. So like for 2 semesters a friggin' year, 10 weeks each friggin' semester, so 20 weeks a friggin' year. And there's a lot of preparatory work and stuff like that for teaching university level courses to homeless people within the area and transients and stuff like that. And that's a lot of fucking time. And I've also gone and did the kitchen work and stuff like that as well. Like, and you friggin' name it. And I've gone and to like with friends that are in bands and stuff like that to fundraise for CHEO, which is a friggin' cancer foundation, for years. And I could go on a fucking tangent. And then even with the work that I've done, where my life is literally getting fucking threatened and stuff like that, like I've still made it a regular point to try to get information out, especially like if you look at my work for the last few years, it's all about the international security stuff that we're getting lied to about. And I've been right about all these events, even before a lot of them fucking happened for years now. I am the best international security analyst there is. Okay. And I just so happen to be a flat earther too. Irrelevant, but again, even beyond that, for the last few years, what the fuck have I done? First of all, and I haven't even had a partner in the last few years either. So like, I'm not out having sex all over the fucking place. I've been celibate for years, like I keep on fucking saying. So again, like more just to prove my character, and and again, like when I get called like things like that, when like I am the least selfish person that I fucking know, or one of the least, right? Because I have good people in my family too, and they're not selfish. That's where I get it from, but to be called that by someone who literally goes to the fucking gym 10 hours a fucking day and then back to his apartment, like that doesn't have a fence. So like my dogs have never stayed overnight ever at anyone's fucking house. And that's, a lot. That too, right? Because I've had family in the hospital where I've had to go, out of province and stuff like that multiple times with my fucking dogs and find a way to put them somewhere while I'm visiting family for like entire ass days in the hospital. People that died 3 times literally in their fucking like within the stays at the I just can't. And I can go on a rant, but like this literally made me cry all night, because getting asked that question, I'm like, wow, like no one really knows me, especially anymore, because like I'm in Ottawa, and the majority here, again, they're not flat earthers, they're all vaccinated, and so through the pandemic, I have been still like vilified. Like people even today like think that I am the devil for not being vaccinated and talking about the pandemic and all of that other stuff. And so again, I'm not complaining, but it's just not easy. And I'm still trying to get information out to help these people too, ironically. And I bring up the point that I'm in my 40s and that I'm literally at the cusp of never having children my entire life. And for a woman that wanted children, for her, at least since the mid to late 20s, actively trying it, like as of the late 20s, but like with men that were taking steroids and stuff like that too. Anyways, long story. And to not have that, and again, like we've been together for like the last years of my life, that I can have a child, and through this all, like again, we're like there's nothing, and he doesn't even want to talk about that, right? And that's a grown ass adult, and I even try to explain to him, I'm like, there's like my cousin who's 7 years younger than me. She's been with a guy. They met 2 years after we met. 2 years after we met, they met, and she's on baby number 2 right now, and they're married and they live together, and they have for a year, like for a few years. I wish people would get that, and so I just, it's just heartbreaking. And I don't mean to vent, but, and then with everything that I've done in the last few years, like at expense to myself, literally like just for that to be complete, like you've never done fucking anything. You're like, what have you done in the last few years? What the fuck have you done in the last few years? What the fuck have you done? Getting massages every fucking week by a man, like hundreds of dollars a fucking month. Again, not going to the animals, not going to a fucking wife or a fucking girlfriend or anything like that. Okay. Last time I had a fucking massage, I don't even know, but it was a registered massage, and it was years ago, and it was because my back was fucking broken. And so, I get so pissed off at this stuff. Like the insanity of the world. And so I'll just go on my profile for X and just go through current events. I'm sorry for like just dumping that out. I've been sitting with it and ruminating, which is not good, for like 12 fucking hours now. And it's just a lot. And it's a lot to sit with. So I just want to get out of the way. Even though the majority of the demographic watching are men, you probably don't want to hear that at all. This was from an NDP woman, and Laurel Collins. And I'm sharing it because, like, even though she's NDP, I don't care about political parties. If people are saying things that make sense, then I'm going to share it. And so Canada is supplying millions of dollars worth of weapons to Israel, weapons that are being used to kill thousands of innocent children in Gaza. As a signatory of the Genocide Convention, Canada has a responsibility to suspend trade in military goods and technology with Israel. And so, finally, this was only 15 hours ago. And how long, for anyone watching my fucking channel, how long have I been literally saying this, showing that I have the law of armed conflict certifications? I received honors in this, and that was like in 2008, even and beyond that, deployed. I had to be very familiar with the rules of engagement, and the rules of engagement even changing overseas too, which also is a huge fuck with operational security and strategy and operations and stuff like that going on. like especially when you're trying to also reach people all throughout the areas of operation that may not necessarily have the updates to the fucking ROEs and stuff like that. So anyway, and so the people like Melanie Jolie and Bill Blair and these people that were doing this. Okay, so how long have we been assisting with the genocide? Since October 7th. Like longer than that, but I'm just saying, like, at least since October 7th that people are aware of. And time to wake the fuck up, Canada. Oh. And this is another thing, like the alpha male types too, like in my network, even with this, like they also think that I'm like on the wrong side of fucking what's going on. I'm like, okay, oh, Ben Shapiro, yeah, like that fucking you that's what you're going off of. I'm like, and even if I show the AI edited images, of the alleged burned babies and stuff like that, and the rape allegations being false, even Israeli government officials admitting that as well, and so many other things I can fucking unpack. The crisis actors that were used, the fact that they were actually attacking their own during October 7th, and even in the helicopters and witness Israeli Jewish accounts. Okay, this is no one else. So anyone that's calling me an anti-Semitic for saying that, you also don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And by the way, and also Palestinians are also Semitic peoples. And so what you are approving is supporting is very anti-Semitic. All right. Anyone that's on the fucking side of Israel right now, or IDF and fucking Netanyahu, this war criminal, you are very anti-Semitic. That's you. That's you, not me. And you don't know what the fuck you're talking about either, because you have no idea what's going on there, but you're deploying forces and troops and stuff like that. Cool. And even in fucking in Ukraine and stuff like that. Like I just oh my God. More hate crimes being pushed like for social media, like censorship in Scotland. And then I just thought this was funny that in the meantime, Scotland has the highest rate of alcoholism and drug abuse in Europe. And in some towns, the life expectancy is third world levels. But hey, hurdy words are bad. And so, yeah, that's kind of funny. Like they're now training law enforcement to address posts or tweets that might hurt people's feelings. And again, like not crimes, because there's already rules in place and stuff like that for people who threaten people or incite violence, all of that other stuff. Okay, so they're just trying to now make anything that goes against what the current leadership says as a hate crime. If you don't say what they say, that's a hate crime. Or if someone's morbidly obese and you call them fat, that's somehow a hate crime. Or is it just calling out reality? I'm saying like that tree is green, right? Maybe if you have something maybe if you're offended by that, maybe think where that comes from. Maybe if by people saying things and not being insulting at all, like by saying like you are morbidly obese or obese, maybe look into why you're offended by that. Okay, because people call me fucking names all the time. I don't give a shit, right? I have trans women who call me cis women, and a vagina fucking whatever you want to call it, a vagina owner, and yeah, I just wanted to. I had a nice saying that I shared yesterday that applies before I share this video I'm going to talk about. The same people that are angrily demanding you tolerate and accept their way of life hate you passionately for yours. All right. So that's the hypocrisy. Like, so I'm not saying like, I'm not targeting groups. I'm targeting people, individuals within certain groups. Right. So for example, there are people in the Christian religion. There's various different, sects or breakdowns or groups within that. But I know a lot of people that are religious, very religious, that don't hate people passionately if they're another religion or homosexual or any of that stuff, or trans even. They care about harm being committed towards the more vulnerable within society, so like children and elderly, etc. You know what I mean? That's normal. That is expected in a fucking first world country, especially. So, but and so people that are intolerant of other groups, especially groups that again are not committing crimes, or people again like during the March for Freedom or whatever it was, people that were part of what people would consider to be sexually perverted, deviant groups that people were like fully tolerating and accepting them being around, but they were the ones that were screaming and yelling and saying vile things to women that were Amish that were fully fucking clothed, traditional clothing and stuff like that. Don't swear, don't drink, don't smoke. Very much like I just and there was even like religious, like Christians and stuff like that. They're holding the friggin' crosses and stuff like that and listening to this stuff, just being like totally traumatized by these people, right? And it's just like, oh my God, like this is what I mean. Like in these little groups of like where there's like sexual deviancy and perversion and stuff like that, like it's a lot more intense of an environment, I'll say, than church on Sundays at the at the town or rural church on Sunday mornings. Yeah. And so now this is Canada. Everybody needs to watch this. Veterans Affairs dedicated an entire conference to disparaging white Canadians in uniform and calling the military racist. This was 14 hours ago. These activists are driving veterans in CA, whatever, policy while veterans can barely access services. And so,
okay.
Because these are part of a Veterans Affairs community. So people that are actually funded to assist veterans that have gone through shit that need Veterans Affairs assistance for, right? Like people that have deployed to war, 15 years infantry officer, deployed to war, buried people overseas during ramp ceremonies that I fucking loved. And then beyond, even in Canada with like suicides and addiction, so many other fucking things. And saw so much, has witnessed so much, experienced so much fucking trauma. And like, you tell me, man, as a Veterans Affairs employee, let me tell you how it is.
My father, bless his soul, he's not alive. And I'm racist, I'm sexist, I'm all of those. I was born in this country. I was born in this culture. So you cannot deny that. I can't.
So she's old. So her father's probably dead because of old age. And so, rest in peace. But he can't speak for himself. So this is also another thing. Like you can allege and whatever, but unless you have proof to back things up, you shouldn't be talking. So for me, for example, I make bold claims all the fucking time, right? Like I'm like, oh, someone tried to break into my house, but then I'm showing the proof. There's a lot of things that have fucking happened that I'm like, you know what, it might be sketch, but it's probably a coincidence, and I don't bring it up because I don't have proof, right? And so strike one already.
Right, anyway, my father was a little bit more than I am, I'll say.
I've been a lot of different places for veterans, and there's always a miasma in the room of the freak is now taking the stage.
Do they say that? Can you give an example? Because you're saying, oh, there's a feeling of it. Okay, again, that's your own perception of reality. You're a man slapping on lipstick, being paid to fucking help veterans, and you're making it all about you. Even when you go on the stage again, like, and I just can't anymore. I'm just done with this fucking woke bullshit. That's a fucking man.
I have,
and we don't have to and I could think that it's fucking weird if I want to. I could think that it's a disorder if I want to. I could think I don't approve of this if I want to. But if I'm sitting there and I'm listening to you and I'm being respectful, I'm tolerating you, that should be a fucking enough, man. Since you're taking that speaking engagement that I, as a woman that's actually a veteran, that actually has an operational stress injury, all of this stuff, I could actually be helping veterans, speaking at engagements about things and not shitting on them or thinking in my head, oh, I'm a victim just because I've been raped or harassed or stalked by men in military. Oh my God, so I even have a more of a reason to come at this with a victim mentality. I'm all fired up.
I've been sad and cried and even gotten angry. Some of you in the room have seen me get angry because some white male.
No one's ever even seen you get angry because some white male. You're a white male.
White male special force op thinks that he had it bad. Okay, be your white male special force op.
Thinks that he had it bad. Man, this is just from a woman's perspective. Again, 15 years as an infantry officer, I was the first female in the history of my regiment. If you don't think that didn't come with a lot of fucking bullshit, they didn't want women in when I went in, okay? This is way before fucking the woke era where anyone that has a fucking minority classification gets in anywhere without any fucking standards being met. I've seen things overseas that have happened to children, that have happened to people that I've loved, or people that didn't deserve it, or that did deserve it. And so have other people. That's why I can speak on this fucking stuff, even though it's hard. It's necessary because these dumb fucks keep getting a platform that have not gone through real trauma. It's all fake, perceived, fucking illusionary trauma. Have you buried? I just can't. These people are so fucking retarded, and that doesn't even count the physical difficulties of the job. It's physically demanding, incredibly physically demanding. Nice. Nice. And I'm not to be biased, but the Patricias, the reason why I wanted to go is because they had the most respect for being the best regiment in the fucking world. And the Cowboys and all that stuff. And that's exactly what I wanted. And so I went through a lot to get there. And anyways, I just get annoyed. Like, fuck this clown. And I know so many Patricias that are such good fucking warrior hero men, operator types and not still in the Green Army. And like for this fucking clown to think that he's had a fucking worse life than these fucking men who are deployed even fucking now. We just had a regimental birthday, or sorry, a regimental day. We had a regimental day on the 17th. And like, fuck this clown, man. Fuck you. And he's Veterans Affairs. He's supposed to be helping us. Like, this is what I mean. We have people that are perceiving themselves as victims. And you literally have them that are hired like around the people that they perceive as villains. Let that fucking sink in. That's where our taxpayers are going.
Force operation, and then get the shit beat out of you by your fellow forces because you're a fag. Okay, that's the reality. No one wants to hear that in this room.
I think I know a Patricia, and if your husband is or wife now, I was the first, but there's been like there's a few other women that I know that are Patricias now, and great at the fucking job, by the way, or were. But I don't even know where I was going with this shit. Oh yeah, there was a trans woman. Patricia officer decades ago, and invited to all the fucking events, invited to our mess dinners, and again, no one gave a fuck. It's just like when you do shit like this, and like he wasn't seeing himself as a victim, he wasn't like playing any fucking games. Like this woman, was a major, and anyways, and this is known, and so it's just like these people are I'm saying these people, not part of the trans community, but people that are trying to play themselves as victims, don't hire them anymore. No offense. They need help. Get them healing, get them service and support and all that shit they need. But don't fucking hire them in positions where we need actually non-victim people.
Unless you look at the fundamental roots of your organization, unless you look at the history, and I'm not just talking about yesterday, go back a thousand years, maybe even, it tells you a lot about what your organization is. And if you don't do that, you're going to do a disservice. The culture, the ideology, what underpins the racism, the sexism, the transphobia, etc.
For this conversation, multiple marginalizations means the experience of being discriminated against because of two or more identity components. Massage.
All right, and so I gave the example of a trans person. This was decades ago too, when I was in Edmonton. What, like, black people there even then, and there was no fucking racism. And you can ask this guy because we're still friends. He's actually here now in Ottawa. I can't say where, but great friends, close friends for literally like over 20 years. I've known this guy. We deployed together as well, and he thinks that what's going on with this woke bullshit is also like impacting his his community and stuff like that as well. And he notices when he goes to Toronto like as well. Like so, things are getting worse now because of this woke bullshit that Wayne Aaron and other crazy insane people like Brenda Lucky are pushing, and listening to people like this. Like, look, this looks to be probably a woman. So like, yeah, she's like doing like the short hair, whatever. So she just looks like a mediocre, average looking boy now. So you went from being a woman to being a mediocre, average looking boy child looking. No offense.
Misogyny, racism, homophobia, colonialism, transphobia, ageism, and other prejudices. These can overlap and result in harmful assumptions, systemic barriers, and specific needs.
I also identify as cisgender, gay, I'm white, woman, and a doctor. When I first joined the department, we had a wonderful program, Heroes Remembered, and some of you may have seen the clips. it sort of didn't occur to me for a very long time. I was always seeing an older
They're all fucking
white man
whiners.
from World War I or World War II.
Their parents failed them.
And they were wonderful stories. So then I built up an imagery in my mind.
And again, I'm not saying what they stand for, the groups that they're trying to stand for. These people that are shitting on everyone and complaining about everything, all right, they're not helping their community at all. They're making it fucking worse, because even people within their community are like, what the hell are you talking about? Blair White saying it, gays against groomers, people I know fucking personally that are homosexuals that have been married and happy for fucking a very long time, people that even from RMC days. These people are making it worse. Actually, even Jason Stewart, the first homosexual to get married in the Canadian Armed Forces. I didn't go to the wedding, but like we were friends and we hung out all the fucking time. We were in the exact same year at RMC as well, and so I went to like Pride parades with him as well, and other people like downtown Montreal and other areas. Had a lot of fucking fun. Great guy, and so again, like people are making shit up. People are making shit up.
Mind of what a veteran was. And I've been changing that ever since.
Yeah, the people I know in the
My
community
father.
are trying to fight out against this stuff. Like this is it's so let me see what else I got here. I don't mean to complain a lot. Like I wasn't even gonna go on today, honestly, just because like last night and like the last fucking, it's just I've just been to the fucking ringer. I'm not complaining or like these woke people complaining. It's the reality. And probably my comments are going to be seen as like offensive. And I don't care. This is what I write now. Disgusting human beings now going to get fired. The woke mob episode 2022. I'm a veteran infantry officer, and this man did not volunteer to be of service to his country. Wearing a dress and lipstick and pretending he is braver than a spec force operator? No. And I worked in JTF too. Like even at the fucking Hill. Like this guy thinks that like, oh my God, that he's like so much fucking better than these guys. You have no idea. The selection process, like the physical and mental requirements that are required just to be considered. Just to be considered for the special forces, you have to be within like the top 5% of your whatever you want to call it, trade or career or industry for a series of years. You know, that's just to be considered. Wild. How this man can wake the fuck up in the morning doing nothing to to train for selection, let's say, for an example. Can you meet or pass selection? That's a fucking hard one. Sorry for swearing. I'm so sorry for swearing. It's just because I was a Patricia for 15 years, still in the industry. Athena Incorporated as international security analyst, and it's just there's more people in this industry that swear, more rough around the edges, like more intense. Don Lemon. Again, he's complaining about a white man, but he's married to a white man. Kamala Harris complains about white men, married to a white man who she's cheated on repeatedly, by the way. And the only reason why Kamala Harris is even relevant is because she fucked Montel Jordan a while ago, right? So again, she did the casting couch fucking interview, just like a lot of women do, like AOC. And then there you go, ruining our lives. And people wonder why there's no respect for women, because that's what's propped up. I wanted to show a Candace Owens interview. Yeah, and people think that Justin Trudeau, is not making fun of us, not doing things intentionally like that to laugh at us. So even with the Emergency Act declaration, that was on Valentine's Day. It's so funny too, that was 2022 on Valentine's Day, he declared it. Again, could have declared it the day before, the day after, the week before, the week, whenever. It shouldn't have been declared at all. It was already deemed to be unconstitutional. And then it's just so funny that a few months later it's announced that like he and his wife had been separated and stuff like that. But then was he petty enough to declare an emergency act like a fucking psycho just because he and his wife were not getting along and he wanted to ruin Valentine's Day for everyone? And then the same thing with things being declared around Christmas time. right? For like lockdowns and stuff like that, like just before fucking Christmas. This again is a psycho fucking in plain sight, wants to ruin our holidays, celebrations, anything that we gain any type of hope from, happiness from, joy from. April Fools, the 1st of April, April Fool's Day. He's increasing by 23% the carbon scam theft from Canadians. And so people are trying to say, to tell me that that's just a coincidence. And they're also not saying that people within cabinet have stolen money from us, billions of dollars from us, and supporting illegal wars and stuff like that. Proxy wars, don't know what the fuck they're talking about with that. Still pushing mandates for therapeutics that should be off the market. Because we're fools. That's the whole thing, right? So he's gonna like steal more of our money, more money off of people within the rural areas and farm areas, because we're the ones impacted by this carbon scam fucking tax. And since people already can't afford the theft, and by the way, the money is going 80% at least to salaries of woke city fucking whatever you want to call it, people that are living downtown. They're not contributing to the community at all. They're not growing food. They're not growing animals. They're not raising anything. They're not contributing to society. They're not doing anything to like help us, right? Not first aid, not fucking firemen, not police officers, not teachers, not doctors, not lawyers, not fucking medics, none of that fucking stuff. Literally just doing the climate scam bullshit like Stephen Guilbeault. And again, I'm sorry, you've had a few years with your carbon scam money. Now you need to close down the department, fire everyone, get them out in the rural areas, and get them to go on a few fucking acres and till and tend to the fucking land like they're supposed to. You want to help Canada? Get the fuck out of the city. Get the fuck out of now these projects, which used to be suburbs, and expand further outwards and manage the land, because you need to do that in order to allow things to grow, in order for there to be carbon dioxide, oxygen exchange, and filtration of the fucking atmos. The atmos. And yeah, that's what I mean. There are people genuinely that do identify, and are more comfortable, as identifying as a woman. It's hard to explain because like there's lady boys in Thailand. I've been to Thailand. I spent almost a month there, rock climbing and deep solo diving, all that stuff, jungle trekking and quads in the desert. Anyway, they call themselves lady boys, right? And they don't care. And so for them, it's like there's no offense. There's no offense if you call them a man or a woman. They don't give a fuck. They're like, I'm a lady boy. And then you've got Blair White, who's a natural born man who looks like a woman, dresses like a woman, talks like a woman. And I don't get any weird predatorial, creepy vibes from. And I would not feel uncomfortable sharing the bathroom with. I wouldn't feel uncomfortable dressing around Blair White, any of that stuff, right? So that's the fucking difference. Like what I'm talking about, a man, in his mid 40s that like slaps on lipstick and looks fucking like predatorial and or even has like convictions and assault charges and stuff like that, like in his past and stuff like that. I'm not comfortable. I'm sorry. I'm not. And I shouldn't have to be. And I won't be. Oh, people are crazy. Crazy. Oh yeah. And so when it was a Dave talking to me about MC Tune, shaking his hand during the I don't know what it was. I think it was the Dean Oldley, Greg Locke interview. But anyway, I didn't know who MC Tune was, so I just left it. I don't know if anyone was aware, but I was just like, oh, and I just kind of want to I wanted to brush it off because like I'm only aware now of like Craig and Brenda and MC Tune, like literally only in like the last I think the last week or whatever, like when I don't know if it was November or James or Aurora. I don't know who it was, but like someone, and so I was looking into it, and so Craig, I saw like that interview from a few years ago that he did. I've already shared that, and again he lost the argument, and then even recently with Craig, with Dave, losing the arguments, and then I showed a video with Brenda, and again I'm not getting any like, and so I shared it, and I think it was from over 4 years. No, that one was a recent one. I'm all over the place, sorry. Because there's that MC Tune person. So I just found a video from over 4 years ago with Witsit, with Austin, and with this MC Tune person. So again, just yesterday, I just finally, I know what he looks like. Thought it was a woman because someone said, like when we were talking about MC Tune last week or whatever it was, when I started looking at the stuff online on the MC2 website, it's all bullshit. It's like there's so much like irresponsible links, you know what I mean, that are not credible at all there. And so I was looking at that stuff. But someone said that it was Craig's wife, and I actually thought that was Bill. so that's why I was saying like his wife and things anyway. And so that was funny, and you got me. So MC Tune is not Craig's wife and not a woman. And so I was like, oh, MC Tune's a man. I thought it was a woman. Oh, do you? Yeah, I love Blair. I honestly do. And get a lot of heat from people within that industry. And it is what it is. So I'll get in with no, actually I'll go to the redacted stuff first. Because I've shared, actually, and I'll share again, but I'll let this run through about measles and how with the COVID therapeutics.
4 years ago this week.
COVID therapeutics, I have shared the VAERS that were reported from Pfizer alone. Even like over 2 years ago and over 3 years ago, measles was reported officially on the record, reported as in the VAERS reports as a side effect. And only 3 to 5% of the VAERS were actually reported, especially during that time, because of financial incentive and ego, and the fucking crazy doctors, like the one that was pretending to be a victim at that Veterans Affairs fucking hate, group, slamming fucking veterans. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, fucking get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, when you start with that, I already don't like you. And so there's a lot you have to do to like change my mind at that point. If you're going to fucking slam veterans, like, I'm sorry. Like, even in my family, like I have an uncle that had like 26 or 27 years service, like even with like explosive ordnance and stuff like that, and part of the EOD fucking teams in Afghanistan, buddy. And you're gonna, like, I just can't. And then even in World War II, like in Korea and even in Vietnam, like I've had like even like my great uncle, he was a prisoner of war for fucking 4 years. My aunt's, like, I'm not even making this up. My aunt Celia, who's still alive in Gaspé, who I always visit whenever I go to fucking Gaspé. Like she, that was her husband, and we lived beside them for a little while in Gaspé. And anyway, he's dead now. But
Week, if you can believe it, the World Health Organization declared a global COVID pandemic and forced us into lockdowns 4 years ago. And now the United States experiencing a massive measles outbreak across 17 states. Why? Why is that happening? Well, with surging cases unlike anything the U.S. has ever seen before. Here's the data. Here are the number of measles cases reported by week. Doctors saying this will become measles mayhem, their words, in the United States, because measles is the most contagious disease we know of. The disease is one of the most infectious known to man and is spread via droplets in the air or contaminated surfaces. On average, one child will spread it to 18 additional children. The mainstream media would have you believe that it's because vaccine hesitancy has led to fewer people being vaccinated.
Oh, really?
Really?
Oh, really?
Is that the case? Or is that how mainstream media wants to spin this to you? It sounds like that's total BS. Why then are measles outbreaks happening at illegal immigrant shelters in sanctuary cities, like in Chicago, where the measles outbreak? This week, the CDC arrived in Chicago. Among these other the Pilsen shelter in Chicago, UC Davis, Sacramento, Planet Fitness in Flagstaff, Arizona, 45 cases. But
a little OCD. So I have to show you. Again, for anyone that's watching that has seen this 10,000 trillion times, I am sorry. I will do this again. And again, I've screen captured this stuff too. I posted this on my social media platforms for years. COVID-19 mRNA Pfizer BioNTech vaccine analysis print. And these are all just like UK spontaneous. These are all just UK. And it's all just Pfizer. So not even just Moderna, AstraZeneca, J&J, Novavax, any of the other ones. And so all I did was just do Control F on this fucking report that, again, only 3 to 5% of the actual VAERS are actually reported. And he said, what, one case of measles, he was saying like someone can infect 18 people. Again, whatever, that's not my fucking stats, but I'm just looking at measles to see if it's part of the VAERS. Look at that. Look at that. Measles, rubella viral infections, 5 confirmed cases at that time, reported just in that location. 5 times 18, rabbit fucking theory. All anyway. So, did you guys see it? Or did I just shut it down? Did you? I'll put it back up because I don't know if you saw it or not. Okay, yeah, you saw it. All right. Okay, so let's talk about measles now. Now that we got that out of the way, mic drop. For anyone watching and have not seen that before, you are welcome. And you are probably not getting that like anywhere else.
But they at the CDC arrived in Chicago at this illegal immigrant shelter to assess the situation after people started breaking out in red-like bumps. At first started appearing like cold-like symptoms and then quickly turned to painful red bumps. According to the NHS, it typically starts in the face and then behind the ears before spreading further. I'd love to know in the chat right now, watching us on Rumble, YouTube, on X, in your community, have you heard about any of these measles outbreaks? Is your local news reporting any cases? Because it's spreading. There are dozens of shelters across Chicago that house nearly 20,000 illegal aliens that we know of, all bused there or flown in out of state or out of country, like the state of Texas busing these people. Watch.
More than 13,000 migrants are currently living in 27 shelters run by the city and the state, according to a census of new arrivals. Most of them have arrived since June 2023, part of the busing campaign by Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott, who says he sent more than 100,000 migrants to sanctuary cities.
So that was pretty much all fighting-age males. And even with me, with my background and my experience and my skill sets and all of that stuff, like 95% of those guys would easily be able to rape and murder me, take over my fucking home and stuff like that, especially as a single woman. And so men really are not thinking about the same things as a lot of women are thinking about.
Yeah. So the Pilsen shelter in Chicago just got a visit from the CDC. It was an old warehouse, which of course was converted into an illegal immigrant shelter. Measles started tearing through that shelter, and they've been trying to figure out exactly how to to stop it. Watch.
The CDC has a team in Chicago now to isolate the spread of this outbreak and get it under control. Measles, as you probably know, highly contagious virus and is easily preventable with a vaccine. Yesterday, the mayor said that the city's health department is going floor to floor at the shelter, offering vaccinations to those who either are not vaccinated or to those who do not know their vaccination status.
So
they're doing the best they can. They're vaccinating. That's definitely the answer. But we still need the proper screening. They need to go through everybody, quarantine them properly, and maybe then we can get this under control.
Sounds like a bloodbath.
Yes, only measles mortality dropped long before the measles vaccine was introduced into the population.
Exactly. So according to the book, Turtles All the Way Down.
Right.
The data actually, that's why I wanted you to bring this up. The measles data is startling. So the mainstream media would have you believe it's because of the vaccines. Stop the measles, stop the chicken pox, put it under control. Really? According to the anonymously written book by doctors called Turtles All the Way Down, no, it was already going down well before vaccines.
In fact, measles mortality dropped 1950 to almost 0%. The vaccine was not introduced until the mid 60s.
So,
and measles, yes, is it's a complication, a bacterial complication from the measles that causes mortality and can be treated now with antibiotics. So the problem with the measles vaccine is that we were never given actual statistics about the risk factor of the measles vaccine itself so that we could weigh it against how dangerous measles is. If you get measles, most of the time it can be treated quite easily. If it turns into a rare complication, that also can be treated with antibiotics. So the public has never been able to give informed consent about the measles vaccine, although the vaccine does seem to prove some amount of herd immunity. So the more people that get it, the less it's in a community. So if you have this community that's coming from, let's say, because these diseases are They spread in places that are less sanitary. That's really all there is to it. And if these are less sanitary places now are spreading, that's how the disease spreads, and it's less dangerous for those of us in a more advanced society who can then be treated for it.
Former Border Patrol agent told me that now at a lot of these shelters, they're experiencing like unbelievable amounts of diarrhea.
Oh,
Just
that's awful.
rampant diarrhea. And this is happening in the United States. And the mayor of Chicago has
Rampant
had
diarrhea.
enough and is starting the eviction process. So kick them out of here. Where are they going to go from here? You could just move on. Listen to this.
Chicago Department of Public Health announcing the measles outbreak at a shelter for migrants continues to spread. 2 more cases confirmed today for a total of 10 altogether.
WGN's Jenna Barnes is here now with the latest on that. Jenna.
Micah and Ray, amid that measles outbreak at the shelter in Pilsen and after
They're gonna
several
blame-
delays,
I
the
think
mayor
they're blaming a
indicating
lot of
today
measles
shelter
outbreaks on
evictions will
illegal
begin
immigrants
at the end of the week.
because they want to get away from the vaccine
They
side
can
effects.
return to the
I
loading
really do.
zone.
Like I did. They want to
That's
like
one
further
place, or they can decide to
degrade
move on.
society and
You
push
know,
against
they
each
don't
other.
necessarily have to remain within the structure that we're providing.
Mayor Brandon Johnson says evictions tied to the 60-day limit on migrant shelter stays will begin at the end of this week, despite a measles outbreak has one shelter under a 21-day quarantine. In this letter Tuesday, more than a dozen aldermen asked the mayor to do away with that eviction policy altogether. He says there will be exceptions.
Individuals who are in the process of securing housing or out migration, if there are other extenuating circumstances around their health or pregnancy.
For those who aren't exempt, Johnson says they can reapply for it.
So just move along.
Yeah.
Move along and move out. You don't have to stay in the structure that we're providing. Like that's just a temporary shelter that we set up at this warehouse. So, just go out and come on, blend into society now.
Yes.
You're American, and go, by the way, when you're on your way out, go ahead and vote as well.
Someone said, did Natalie just say to get the measles vaccine? I didn't say that. I'm saying what we should do is ask the CDC for real clinical trials around the measles vaccine so that we can make a calculation as to how dangerous the measles are versus how dangerous the vaccine is. That's what we should always have, is informed consent. We never have got that. And the measles have never been tested against a true placebo.
Yeah. In addition to which, we have tuberculosis. So,
Measles has never been tested against a true placebo. I also thought, fun fact, that people would like to know that. That's something that is, again, like I don't understand. Like even the original trials for the vaccine, COVID therapeutics. I'm not calling them a vaccine because they're not. I shared the debunked original trials, and I guess not interesting to people. Before the rollout of the fucking vaccines, I showed the debunked original trials. Before the rollout of the pandemic, I was on a mass tort for the methaquid mass tort to go against the government to change policies regarding forced inoculations. 2018, 2019. So, soul crushing. To know what's gonna fucking happen or possibly happen, and then be correct and not want to be right, but then be right. And yeah. Anyway, so all I did was just search in again autoimmune. Again, this is from and the lock date was 16 March 2022. All I did was search autoimmune. There's 19 different autoimmune classifications in here for VAERS reported. So latent autoimmune diabetes in adults, type 2 diabetes. So vaccines also causing, I'm not saying this, this is from a fucking report. And then this is just the UK and it was locked over 2 years ago now. Yep. And I even shared the results from Pfizer from February 2021. Oh, over 3 years ago now. Autoimmune arthritis. That sounds awful. All of this does. I'm looking down the friggin' list too, but encephalitis, autoimmune encephalopathy, autoimmune lung disease. Oh, even here, look, pneumonitis. Again, these are all things that like impact the immune system. Autoimmune blistering disease. What? Autoimmune dermatitis, anemia, autoimmune hemolytic anemia. Like this is all on the record, publicly known, easily accessible. All of our government has it because I've emailed it to them personally for over fucking 3 years now. And this over 2 years now. Again, I could share the sent messages. I've done that as well. Wayne Eyre, the chief of defense staff, Brenda Lucky, they all have this. I've given this for years. I've tagged them in posts. Wayne Eyre said blocked me because he's a piece of shit pussy. Not a Patricia. I'm not saying that anyone that's not a Patricia is not a good person. Like I know a lot of people that are not Patricias, that are great fucking troops and soldiers and officers. They're just not as good. Oh shit, autoimmune thyroiditis. Thyroiditis. So many immune issues. Fertility issues too, by the way. Autoimmune issues also impact fertility. Short-term and long-term. Thyroid disorders, autoimmune hypothyroidism, autoimmune uveitis, autoimmune pancreatitis, colitis, hepatitis, interesting, autoimmune hepatitis. I'm not even finished. Autoimmune disorders, lots. Let's just see here. Look at that. Herpes. Isn't that something that you can't cure? Genital herpes. There's a lot of those. And so I bring this up as well. I bring up the herpes and any other fucking things that look like sexually transmitted diseases or could be. Because what if, imagine you're married and because again, there's a lot. Like, look at this, 96. Again, this is just UK. This is just and this is over fucking 2 years ago. And only 3 to 5% are reported. So fucking herpes is through the roof. Shingles, HIV, autoimmune induced inflammatory, like you fucking name it. And again, this is just like, And then I have dummies that I give this information to because even Glenn Gower, who's the mayor of Stittsville, somehow still, I gave this information to him as well. And multiple other people did as well. And instead that dummy, he wanted to like he was trying to be intimidating in the email as if he's above me or something like that and not a public fucking servant that I'm paying to do a fucking job and look at the information I'm giving him and submit higher. So I'm like, I don't give a fuck who you think you are. I have top secret government clearance, by the way, and I know, or I could very easily find out if you're doing anything criminal in your own fucking time, or if you have shares and stocks in any of the destruction companies or real estate companies that are blowing over all of fucking Stittsville and have been under your tenure, Glenn Gower. Do you want me to fucking look at that? Because I've been in the security industry for multiple years, and including training all of the security guards, so the LCBOs all over the province of fucking Ontario. So if you think I don't know people all over Ontario either that are in the security industry that also do executive protection, close protection with people all over the fucking world, you're wrong. Because I even did executive protection for the Bank of Canada, for the people that go to Davos, WEF, all that fucking shit. I know the people that did the security for them during these fucking meetings, and that was my job too. I didn't go to Davos. I could have. I quit because I was trying to get more information out there. You know what I mean? And not because I was trying to be a cog in the wheel or anything like that. But it's just like that, like with the information I was looking at. And doing my own threat assessments and estimates and stuff like that. Like I'm not on the same page at all with the reality of the world, right? Like I'm saying, like even with COVID, like, and even with, with Ukraine and Afghanistan and fucking Palestine. And so I would have just probably got fired. I would have probably likely got fired anyways, just because like I'm a person I'm honest, and I'm not going to enable or support shit that I don't agree with. And, so many different reasons why, but yeah, and so like I could talk to these people, and if I wanted dirt, I could probably get dirt, but I don't want to do that. I don't want fucking drama. I literally just want people to resign, step down, and let better people in. We've been showing this for fucking years. I've been showing this for years. Again, like the fact that like these people haven't even responded back yet. Chrystia Freeland, disgusting. And even after that, they still approved it. Emergency use authorization still, by the way, at the time, for children. And then Helen Gruce is still getting charged, suspended, all that stuff because of sharing the data that I just shared with you. Helen Gruce, Ottawa Police Services, over 20 years. This is what she was sharing to Chief Slowly and to her chain of command. Not memes, not fucking CBC articles. She was showing scientific, medical, and government data to look at, and then showing her analysis as someone that was working with sexual assault child abuse unit for over 7 years, showing that there were 7 deaths in infants that could possibly be correlated to the vaccine rollout, because there was a lot more, even during a short period during a vaccine rollout, of 7 deaths in children, and parents likely wanting to fucking know why or how their fucking healthy child died suddenly, which had, you know, and not even on the, and so even her supervisor with over 400 cases under his belt, not one time can he ever think of a time where an otherwise healthy infant suddenly died without any reason behind it. And they've been trying to bury this for fucking over for years now, but at least over 2 years, because even during the Freedom Convoy, that's when she was suspended. Our phones were tapped because hers was tapped, and other people I know that were working Hunt Mar and Ottawa Police Services, we were communicating regularly, and other people I can't even still name, but then we had to stop communication because, again, like, people are trying to fuck over the people that are trying to help Canada, right? And look what's happened to me in the last few years. Look what's happened to Helen. Look what's happened to Jeremy McKenzie. Look what's happened to Tamara Leach. Look what's happened to people that are sharing this information.
According to the NHS, you only get measles once and either had them as a kid or in the form of chicken pox or were vaccinated against them at some point. So if we listen to the experts, then you were vaccinated, you'll never get the measles. That's what they tell us, right? If you were vaccinated, you should never get it. That's what they tell us. I think we're about to see if that's true or not, right? Like, this could be the largest trial we've ever seen, because they tell us if you had this vaccine, you'll never get the measles. Of course, Chicago, not the only place. 17 states now experiencing these outbreaks, and doctors say,
I'm sorry, if you're vaccinated against varicella, you can later get shingles because now it's been introduced into your body. So you can have other flare-ups from, say, measles or chickenpox and things like that.
Yeah.
So we will see what happens to, because we are largely a vaccinated population for measles.
What is it with the U.S. bringing back tuberculosis, measles, Ebola potentially? Like,
it's retro.
Yeah.
It's like,
we just want to see. Yeah, we want to see it in action once again, because that's exactly what's happening. And again, Chicago is not the only place. 17 states now experiencing these outbreaks, and doctors say Arizona is the most vulnerable state in America right now. I wonder why. Maybe it's proximity to things. I don't know. And here was the first case 1 month ago, and now surging cases in Arizona.
It's considered one of the most contagious viruses.
9 out of 10 people who get exposed to that air will develop measles if they don't have the immunity to it.
And it was just confirmed in Arizona.
The Maricopa County Department of Public Health is investigating a positive case of measles here in the county.
Assistant Medical Director Dr. Nick Staub wouldn't say much, only that the person was visiting from overseas.
I mean, the one thing we know...
Visiting from overseas.
Okay, the one thing we know from these contagious diseases is that we were able to eradicate it when sanitation became more reliable inside cities and towns. And so when we no longer had horses as our main use of transportation,
taking dumps in the
street, there were no flies spreading disease from horse poop in the street when we had plumbing, right? And so we are now mixing populations that live in less sanitized places, and we're doing so carelessly.
People that come from less sanitized places, and I don't mean to single out areas either, but like India is overdeveloped and it's dirty and it's overpopulated because of the overdevelopment and stuff like that. And so my cousin, who's married to an Indian, by the way, and she's pregnant again. She's due any friggin' day now. So again, I'm not discriminating against people. I'm making an observation about the country itself and the outline, right? And so people shit in the streets all over the place. They're throwing garbage outside of their home on the streets. There's stray, dirty animals, all over the friggin' place. And people are, again, like, they're not assisting with their societies or the communities or anything like that. People are literally making it worse. They're shitting on the streets. I'm getting this first hand account. She just got back it's been over a year now, but she went with her child, and they came back early because like her child was getting really sick, and there was just a lot of danger in the area. Like, and even her husband, who's Indian, comes from there. He has family there. Like, they've also noticed a huge spike and things getting worse more recently too. And you've got to treat your land better. Okay, and so there's people that are coming from other areas where they did not treat their areas good at all. And they did not help build it up at all. And so they're coming here and they're not doing it here either. right? They're bringing in a lot of the same stuff. They're like, oh, we're not as bad as we were there, but still like not the same standards that Canadians generally have been living at for, you know, decades or whatever you want to call it. And again, I'm trying not to insult people here, but and so there are people like that are Canadians that are getting pushed out of the cities because of the surge in foreign workers and immigrants and illegal immigrants and students and stuff like that. They're not even, these people a lot of them are not even working or going to school or anything like that. They're getting monthly payments from Canadian taxpayers, people that are living on the land, taking care of the land, tending to the land, grazing the land with animals and all of this stuff, right? And so like these people were not doing it where they were, or else they would have done it where they were, right? And they would have had more of a encouragement or more of a reason to do it where they come from had they wanted to. You know what I mean? And so like, why are we like, so again, I'm just making observations here. Maybe stay where you are and build it up, because even in India and other areas, like the majority of the land is not occupied, it's not inhabited. Okay, and so instead of people actually just moving out of the major areas that are overdeveloped and disgusting now, then people are not moving out, even just a few kilometers, even just 100 kilometers, for example, or whatever, and then just getting a few friggin' acres and a shitty piece of like, and building out, make your house, build your house, build your shelter, get subsidies from your government to like get people to like assist with building communities outside of the fucking area on a few acres, make it like a co-op or something like that. I don't fucking know, but that's what you need to do. Okay, Canada 98% uninhabited. The US at least 95% uninhabited, and we need to have more people out in these areas again to manage the land, because you need people or things in the fucking land to manage. I hope that makes sense. And shredding the trees to make room for more, again, immigration that's like that's not sustainable is also further contributing to the pollution, and contributing to the climate change and all this other stuff that we're fucking talking about. So again, what the fuck are we doing here? What are we doing? We're making a fucking mess. And even China, very overdeveloped, you know, over 1 billion people as well. I believe it's only like 85% or something like that of China, and maybe even less than that. Like, sorry, maybe even more is uninhabited. And this is land that people can live on, they can manage, they can till. It might take a little while to get things to fucking grow, but you know what I mean? Deal with it. Yeah, and very rapey in India. And so like my cousin was saying too, that when she was there were people visiting, and like the woman, she was married and everything like that, was gang raped. and also journalists and stuff like that going there, like that have also been accosted and attacked and stuff like that, like as soon as like it gets dark in the streets, because like a lot of people also, and by the way, a lot of people coming in here don't have this, not only do they not have the same hygiene or same like quality of standards of life, like for waste management and for all of that other stuff, but they also don't respect women, or not to the same degree as Canadian people do in general. And so, or American people do. And so like, again, like people are just fucking crazy now. They're making life worse for everyone. Okay, these are not long-term solutions. They're not even short-term solutions. And the people that they're surging in, even people that have raped and murdered in their own fucking countries and are fleeing and are not documented and stuff like that and getting thousands of dollars a fucking month. This is all craziness. Okay, people in other areas, they need to start occupying land within their own fucking regions before maybe thinking about exploiting people within their fucking homelands, right? Because you're coming into my home, you're shitting on me, you're destroying my fucking home, you're blaming me for it when you just left your fucking home that you just finished destroying. And I'm paying the fucking mortgage while you're doing it, and the property tax and the bills and the meals and stuff like that. So again, I'm getting a little upset with this stuff, guys. Peacefully, fuck off.
We're not taking care of them.
And I've had videos about this before that I've gotten a lot of hate from, but I said that real men don't flee their fucking countries. Right? There are places now that are war torn and stuff like that. I'm not saying that that's not a fucking. I'm saying that's a terrible quality of life to like live in war torn countries. I've been to war. I fucking know it. I know it better than most fucking people. And even a lot of people like in these areas we're not even as exposed to the war, even like as we were, right? Like people on the outskirts or the surrounding areas of Afghanistan even were not as impacted as people within Kandahar and Kaf and those areas, Massangar and DDC and Coney and anyway. And then in countries too that like where people are not able to drink or be in public without like a male family owner. They have to walk behind their men. They're not able to drive. They're not able to go to school. All these things. But yeah, bring them all fucking in, right? The men are saying this and doing this and then laughing like, oh yeah, these women like this is feminism for them. This is women's lib. No, it's fucking not, you psychos. No, we're not asking for this. And in Europe too, this is what breaks my heart. Like the people that are trying to speak out and scream, hey, like our lives are getting ruined, are women. They are mothers, aunts, and grandmothers. Literally, even in Europe, like I'm saying, like they're saying, like they have these like illegal immigrants and like or whatever people that are coming in, and not all of them are fucking bad people, not at all. But there's a large percentage that are, and there are young girls, even like kids, fucking kids, 3 years old guys that have been raped and murdered by people that have no business being there. And these people that are these little girls, these little boys, but like a lot of these ones that are getting raped and killed, okay? This is traumatic. Think about this if it was your fucking kid, if you have one. Or if you have a niece or or a nephew, or think about if this happened to your, I wish people would think more about what's happening, especially men. I wish they cared more about what's happening in their own streets.
Obviously, who wants to think of a migrant suffering terrible diarrhea in a place that's not home? And we're not taking care of anybody, really.
Yeah. And not migrant, illegal immigrant. Dr. Mark Siegel, medical director at New York University, also
like some kind of like government subsidy or assistance or programs put in place, even using corporations and stuff like that. Like, people need to start getting more. Like, in Canada, we have the seniorial system, allocating land, to and the agreement is like people have to manage and take care of that land too, right? So again, that's not fucking easy. I'm on 5 acres. I might get kicked out because my insurance might not get approved because I have this woke agenda. Anyone with a fireplace, even if they don't use it, they're like, oh, the climate change, that's carbon emissions, even though they're fucking burning millions of acres of trees. These arson fucking idiots, these leftists, and also like the dudes, the lasers. Like, so these fucking people that are causing wildfires, that are extremists, that are trying to do it to oppose what? Fireplaces. Well, guess what? Like the amount of fucking smoke and carbon that you just emitted, like with your arson and your criminality and the lasers and stuff like that. How many homes could have been heated in Canada with that amount of wood that was burned? With those forests, sorry, that were burnt down all over fucking Canada. How many houses in Canada would have been heated over winter? For how many years too? Yeah. I just people. It's idiocracy right now within cabinet and government. It's idiocracy.
also warned that these illegal immigrants could bring diseases across the southern border into the United States, which could include drug-resistant tuberculosis, which is what we're seeing now. I spoke this weekend to former Border Patrol veteran J.J. Carroll, author of the book Invaded, and he told me, I mean, it was unbelievable what he was telling me. He said, quote, my last year in the Border Patrol was Biden's first year when COVID was still considered a deadly disease. We were releasing everyone to NGOs, non-governmental organizations. One bus for COVID, negative.
What have I said? What's been on my whiteboard for years too? NGOs. These are not what you think, right? There could be some good benefits like to some of these organizations, but for overall, these are umbrella organizations that are the key contributors of the human and drug trafficking crime rings.
And one for positive.
That's what I said.
And the NGOs would then release the positive population into San Diego or Riverside airports and bus stations.
What are the odds?
And he said whole stations were shut down because of lice, scabies, tuberculosis outbreaks. Never reported, he said. The Border Patrol, in fact, he says now it's much worse and at a much higher rate, according to the Border Patrol. And he says Border Patrol no longer reports these outbreaks, and Border Patrol stations are many times in the middle of large neighborhoods, school zones, etc. And he said we're seeing lice, scabies, skin ailments, drug-resistant tuberculosis, polio, AIDS, HIV, and literally diseases and conditions that are unknown to our doctors. This is from the Border Patrol. Border Patrol stations have holding capacities of 150 to 200 people, and it was and is out of control. Now imagine what is happening in large immigrant detention facilities in major cities that hold over 2,000 people. and thousands living on the streets. Talk about unsanitary, and this is what's being brought into American cities right now. And by the way, being organized in large part by the Biden administration, orchestrating all of this, and in collaboration with the cartels across the border. I just co-authored a new report on the cartels specifically, and I can't talk about it here on YouTube because they will flag it and then we will not be allowed to do it. So check out, I just wrote this and co-authored this report. Go to redacted.inc/cartel, and you can read all about how these cartels are ferreting these individuals across the United States, right with the Biden administration's help, by the way. And they want to get up there and pretend, like during the State of the Union address, that the border is secure, is what Biden basically told us, that he couldn't do anything about it, that it's the Republicans' fault. It's being orchestrated directly by them. So we'll talk more about that in coming days here on the show. But for now, 17 states dealing with this outbreak. And my thing is they're going to be using this to tell us we can't go to school. They're going to close schools down for measles outbreaks. They're going to do all of this now. And right in time, by the way, for an election, right in time for mail-in voting, right in time to keep us home because of these outbreaks in all of these major cities.
Well, you might recall back in January, we reported that the British Medical Journal published a study calling for behavior interventions to reduce vaccine hesitancy. So this is a very convenient story that popped up around this behavior modification. So we talked about this. What do they mean by behavioral modifications? If you are someone like me who says, I actually didn't give informed consent to give my kids the measles vaccine because I was never given a proper clinical trial and I would like one. What do you want to do to me for saying that? What kind of behavior modification do you want? Right. And so we talked about this. This is, again, we can see
people that are so intolerant and hate you demand so much tolerance and acceptance. And not even just acceptance, they just want like you to be exactly like them, or they want you dead. And right. And so the hypocrisy in that, like, is just fucking mind numbing. Mind numbing. And so Tucker Carlson just called out Dan Crenshaw. I was pretty happy about this because Dan Crenshaw is a fucking sellout. And everyone that thinks that this guy is anything good because of his political party alignment, again, like another fucking puppet. He's been a corrupted loser for years now. No offense if anyone really likes this guy. And I'm glad that he's finally getting called out. I like it when Ben Shapiro gets called out and stuff like that too. I'm not going to lie. And guys in government. I like more of the guys in government getting called out. I don't give a shit too much about like podcasters and stuff like that. But yeah, like Ted Cruz, him, Joe Biden, call these fuckers out peacefully, like they're liars.
Everything TikTok has, which means data on all Americans, and with data and with access to your, app that you're addicted to, you can vastly manipulate an entire population, which Chinese have done already.
Are you worried that our intelligence agencies are doing the same thing domestically?
Am I worried that I know that they're not?
They're not manipulating Americans. They're not.
Yes, I know.
I know they're not.
Yeah. Did you have some evidence otherwise?
Lots of evidence.
I mean,
okay.
Before
the scandals of like paying people
Congressman, you
to
asked for an
lie
example of the
during
U.S.
elections.
intelligence agencies meddling in our information. What about before the 2020 election, when 50 members came out and said the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation? Does that count?
No, because I mean they were retired.
They were retired, but the FBI had the laptop program.
They were retired. No, they weren't, though, idiot.
Access to everything TikTok has.
I've got an eye patch, so you can't talk about me because I'm disabled. No, fuck off, Dan Crenshaw. You're a liar. And by the way, he's also like embezzled and stolen money, and he's actually been charged where he actually had to pay like a few years ago, like I think it was like over $200,000 in fines because of I forget what it was, but again, this guy's a fucking corrupt loser. He tried to steal. He got fined $200,000 that he had to pay back. Like, so this guy has stolen a lot of money. He votes with his lobbyists, the people that pay his fucking donations. Guess where they come from? Guess where they come from? Oh my God, these people fucking suck. They suck. I'm over it. Okay, so under the good stuff. Well, I don't know necessarily about that. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll play the whole thing. This is what it gets it. This frustrates me because this is over 4 years ago. And so that's why I know that, again, not that I know, that's why like my assessment, because again, with MC Toon and with Craig and with Brenda, I'm just falling out of these people like within the last week. I thought MC Toon was a woman. Yeah, like, you know, like as well. And so not a woman, not married to Craig. These people have been at this for a few years. And so my only point to this is that people that give them an audience or give them a platform, these are trolls, like I've said before, and their whole gimmick and their whole niche and how they're making their money, and be staying relevant is we are giving them a platform. And they're using that platform and they're picking and choosing what they want to share on that platform, on their platforms and stuff like that. And they're making their whole careers off of being trolls. So we're actually like helping fuel their campaigns. We're actually funding them by doing this. And so like, that's why like I'll debate Craig. I've already talked to Jaron. I said I would do it. I know for a fact it's pointless and it's just going to be further allowing him to contribute to his trolling. And that's why, like, especially as a woman, it's going to be like even more popular, maybe, you know, like, because again, like, despite the fact that I'm going to destroy his arguments with common sense and facts, he's been at this for years now, like, again, like at least over 4 years now that I know this is fucking crazy. This is what I mean. They get so much good feedback and they get so much good content from like really credible sources, and they're refusing to look at that or listen to them for years, and they're still at it. So again, so this is where like, I think with Jaron, and this is none of my business, but like I don't think that we should be involving them in anything with any debates, not giving them any platforms, fucking them off, and just letting them sink. Let them sink. Because we're just giving them fuel, right, and ammo. Like regardless of how fucking perfect these interviews are gonna be for them. Like he said, oh, I've done 800 debates and I've won them all. No, you haven't. That's your interpretation or your own lies and deceit. And you're just saying nonsense, right? And so like the 2 debates that I've seen, you lost. So out of the other 798 that I'm missing, I'm pretty sure that you lost those 2 because I know for a fact that the earth is flat. Or at least that it's not a globe. I know for a fact the earth is not a globe.
mctoon.net/refraction, right? Go ahead, look.
And you don't even know what the fuck refraction is. So this is over 4 years old. And this is what I mean, they're lazy. So even with refraction and radar and sonar and lasers and the earth curvature and this theory that there's that even though there's not a geographical physical horizon, believing that exists and then claiming that you're not in a cult or a religion when you are believing in something that doesn't exist. And that's your whole argument is based on it would need to have a geographical physical horizon in order for a fucking globe to even exist, you dummies. And the fact that you're not even aware of that after 4 years. So clearly they're not academics. Clearly they're not 4 years. Oh my God. I literally could take an hour to do some fucking research on lasers and radar and sonar and distances and fucking light refraction. Come on. Lazy. They're fucking lazy and trolls, and let's stop giving them money.
Intro he plays.
Because Wixit, Austin, you are way too good for these people. Way too fucking good for these people.
And then I'm gonna add him in. What's up, my dude?
Yeah. Yeah, look at
awesome. That. Thank you.
So, like, let's boycott them. The only reason why that McToon has 2,500 paid subscribers likely is because, again, there's people within the government industries that are funding them to be paid trolls. They're likely, like I've said, they're probably paid government trolls. All right, and again, we're destroying them in arguments and refuting their points. So it's unfortunate, but like this is what I'm saying. Like Jaron, like we need to fucking stop having them on because again, like we're just funding their cause with their fucking idiot trolls. Because the viewers and the subscribers, they're not academics either. They're not academics. If there's anyone in 2024 right now, honestly, that are following these people's accounts, they're not academics. Full stop. And they have not seen the interviews where these people have gotten dummied over their arguments.
For
this is a long one.
the feedback. Will do. No, I'm certainly not stoned. I just fell asleep. What's up, bro? Love. See if I got let's see. Oh, yeah, just a second. All right.
Yeah, I would love to debate Craig. Like I would love to. Not that I would love to. I would actually hate it because he seems like a vile troll human being. That's never going to admit that the Earth is flat. Like he's never going to admit that it's not a globe. And so again, it's pointless. And the thing is, I think it's going to be giving him more money. I don't want to give this fucking loser any more money. And so like this is where I'm stuck with this. Like I didn't get vaccinated. I've held the line on so many fucking things. I've quit jobs when I knew that being awake, you have to like not support and enable and actively be involved in like committing crimes against humanity, obviously. And so this guy is actively complicit in committing crimes against humanity, whether he thinks so or not. And he's preventing human beings from getting the truth about the world, and that's offensive. So many different levels. And the fact that there are flat earthers that have died and been targeted and lives destroyed because of shocks like that. Also, again, it's deeply offensive. And so like, I would rather deplatform these fucking losers and cancel them, censor them, than give them an audience. Like why invite an abuser in your house to punch you in the face, right? Like there's, it is what it is.
Oh, we mean business now. We got the hat.
Bribe. So that's interesting. So anyone that's watching that's in the security industry, like my email address is don189@protonmail.com. So let's see if you have anything on MC Tune. Let's see why this possibly blackmailed and bribed person is being such a fucking troll. So much appreciated if anyone can help me with that.
Yeah, my bad. I was super tired, bro. I fell asleep and I just woke up like maybe 10 minutes ago. What's up, bro?
Let's see what secrets McToon and
Will
Craig.
do. All right, so I'm about to add him in here and we'll get started.
And Brenda.
He has, there it is.
Don't forget Brenda.
All right. I can see you, Austin. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. What's only in, you're only in that ear. Maybe it's my Bluetooth. So, all right. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm great. So did you introduce stuff and we're all ready to go?
Yeah, sure, man. I just let you know we were about to get started.
All right, good. So Planar Walk actually is going to be moderating and so
ahoy hoy.
Yeah, why don't we hand it to you and introduce it a little bit.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to be moderating. We're going to start with a introduction. I've been notified that it's not going to be a timed introduction and opening statements. If you guys get stuck on a topic, I'll
So even with this, it annoys me because like MC Tune is gonna get like more fucking like a clout, undeserved because of this. Even though he's getting royally spanked in this whole thing, like he's making money off of it. Like I'm annoyed at that.
go ahead
This is just to
and
prove a point to get him out there. So in the security industry, if you give me any dirt on McToon or Craig, I would love it because they've gotten people killed within this community.
say, hey, just say you've been on a topic for half an hour and it's going nowhere, or maybe even 20 minutes and it's going nowhere. I'll say, hey, do you want to change topic? And yeah, so how about we get into it? Who wants to go first?
So yeah, introductions and overviews with not presentation of evidence, right?
Right.
So you want to start, Austin, or should I?
I don't care, man. I'll start. It's pretty simple. All observable reality shows us that this Earth is not a globe, right? So we come from it from the stance of we prepare observation, not mathematical, theoretical nonsense and conceptual abstractions that require presuppositions. So what it comes down to is, I do not know exactly what the Earth is. I don't adhere to some definitive model. Simply, I am saying the Earth is not a magic spinning ball, right? It's certainly not what it is claimed to be. And so, yeah, I just come from this from an observation first, actual proof viewpoint. And there's a list of reasons for this we can get into, of course. And yeah, so the way I view it is, man, you're making a positive claim about what the Earth is. You claim to know exactly what it is. And so, you know, if you cannot substantiate.
I can't believe it. Like, this is so crazy to me. Like, again, I've been talking about flat Earth for years, and I've been researching it and studying it before I ever dreamed about talking about this publicly, just to make sure. And these people are dramatic. Like, this is what I mean. It's ridiculous. Like, these are the trolls I'm talking about. Like, do they also go to like nunnery, like to like churches and like punch nuns? And do they go to like daycares and like kick babies? I don't know. I'm not a Satanist. Okay, you are the cult member, not me. You're the one that believes in an imaginary geographical physical horizons, buddy, not me.
This model you claim to adhere to, then it isn't real. That's all I got.
These religious.
All right, cool. Well, yes, the all evidence points to the Earth being here. Little flattered, little squished on the top. And I use science, and I do love it when flat earthers deny science, because it just shows that it's just faith, I guess, and religious claims, and not logic, reasoning, inductive reasoning, deductive reasoning, critical thinking. That goes out the window, I guess, if you're going to deny science. And I love it. I love when that happens. So I do have here with me a tab. I got a tab there, but the official, let's see, the sanctioned right there, Globebusters map. And because you're a Globebuster now, I got a little mini version for it for you too here.
And this retarded model, I don't know where he got that from, or like, this is what I mean. Like, he's either dumb or just paid propagandist, because like the models that we show, like, what the fuck is he talking? What is this?
Based on the video that was on the channel, the Globebusters channel last year, talking about the Gleason's map and how brilliant it is, and how there's 60 nautical miles between each line of longitude, which means this is your map. So good for that. I was going to try to get oh,
sorry, where is it? I just wanted to show you the Gleason map. And again, like, no one's committing or putting all of our eggs in a basket of the Gleason map either. Like, we're showing what possibly can be the outline of the Earth, not the outline of the Earth, but like looking downwards on the geographic locations, what could possibly be, what it could be, more, and we're way too fucking more accurate than the Globies. Sorry, I'm just gonna look up the Gleason map model here. I just gotta find it. There's so many fucking photos up, and I don't mean to swear. Where's Gleason? Oh, there we go. It could be a little it could be a little tedious, like looking through all the content. But so this is the Gleason map, like when you're looking down at the possible Earth. And again, like, even with the calculations for this, it would apply whether it was a globe, sphere, circle. I've already shared that with the calculations for like the distances and things like that. And so this is the Gleason map, and it shows two here. If you want to scroll through and zoom in, Australia, and if you look at this area, like there's Tasmania, that would be like the furthest away from an area, like, let's say, a geographical landmass, sorry, like what's in South America, Patagonia, Argentina. And because I've studied like these maps and stuff like that, like I was having a conversation with my family, and I said that, like, I thought Patagonia was a country, and it's in Argentina and stuff like that. It's just like a region within Argentina. But like, because I've like studied all these maps, and I'm not looking at Google Earth or looking at the globe stuff, you know what I mean? Like, even with that, like, people think I'm dumb for saying things like that, and they're like, don't you know the fucking Patagonia? Like, bro, do you even know the fucking shape of the Earth? Relax. You know. Anyway, so you just want to get to like what like more of the northern, sorry, or southern tips of South America, and then measure the distance to Tasmania or whatever, and you'll see it makes a lot more fucking sense on this model, on this map, than the one that Google Earth gives. MC Tune.
there you go. There's my. That's what I got. So
Silly.
good luck.
You're silly.
Okay. So that's opening statements, introductions done. Just making sure.
Yes.
Or is it okay? So we'll go into open discussion. Who wants to start things off?
I got it. So you said that the audio was working, bro, but apparently you weren't listening. All right. So I'll repeat myself. I do not claim a definitive.
I also have multiple books as well, but like this is also like a good example of a fairly accurate looking down to at the possible Earth breakdown. There's that one as well. Again, this is the Gleason one, again, this is by Gleason. Is the Bible from heaven? Is the Earth a globe? And then that other one was from Edward Henry. I have hundreds of other fucking books, well, thousands of books in my library and stuff like that. But Peterson's projection map, you want to look at the possible more accurate sizes of the regions, land masses, and stuff like that. You could with the Peterson's projection map, do it where you would make it into a flat Earth map. That would also be very accurate, or not very accurate, a lot more accurate than the blue marble
of the Earth. So any of your attempts to inadvertently undermine some presupposed model that I have.
That's not perfect. Yours is not perfect. Yours is fake. Yours is fucking what are you talking about? You don't have a model.
It's disingenuous and it is not intellectually honest. So let's just get into your religious belief, which ironically you use that term somehow. Okay, so let's just start with the basics here. You think that the Earth is this magical spinning ball. So Mattoon, can you in any way substantiate the claim of axial rotation?
Yes, I can. If you just go to mctoon.net/spin, I'll put it in my chat here, and maybe one of your mods on your side would put it into yours. There is, I think it's 15 different peer-reviewed studies measuring Earth's rotation using, hold on, bring it up here, using several different techniques, not just one, but I think about 6 different techniques to measure the rotation of the Earth, and they all measure the same. It's great how much in sync they are, considering that they are different techniques. So, for example, there is one called Sensing Earth's Rotation with a Helium Neon Ring Laser operating at 1.15 micrometers. They successfully obtained unlocked rotation sensing using a large helium neon ring laser gyroscope in the infrared regime rate based on the Earth's rotation alone. That's a nice one. Now, another one is really good. They actually measured the Chandler wobble of the Earth, which is about a 400-day wobble of the Earth using a very large optical interferometer. But if you go down, there's other ones. There's one that's called Detecting the Earth's Rotation using Superfluid Phase Coherence. So they use actually liquid helium in a small circular, or I think it's a squarish container, and they measured the rotation of the Earth in there because when it's super fluid, the helium has no friction. So that's another one. There's a mechanical yaw rate gyroscope, which is mechanical. It's not optical. Let's see. There's a really cool one from 1905. Yep. Called an apparatus for measuring the speed of rotation of the Earth, and it uses two 50 centimeter diameter spinning discs, each weighing 30 kilograms, so 60 kilograms spinning mass at 2,400 RPM.
Making shit up.
So, and that was that measured the same thing. It was suspended by a wire. So, all of those and a few others. So you can.
Okay, Mattoon, if you have to presuppose the aspects of your religion, that's called begging the question. And
what was presupposed?
All these are going to presuppose the shape. You're also
Hold on, no, specifically, what is it
The shape.
presupposing? So I can address your
okay. The gyroscope
claim of presupposition.
the gyroscope is presupposing the nature of light. Okay, presupposing your frame of reference, and the last thing you just acknowledged doesn't have an inertial frame of reference. Okay, so you're saying gyroscope and Foucault's pendulum, as far as I can tell. I don't even know.
I didn't say Foucault's pendulum.
Yeah, the last
Of course
thing
you
you
didn't say
described
now.
is the same
You know that's
problem
what
as
you're
Foucault's pendulum. You do not have an
No, it's
inertial
not.
frame of reference.
You don't need to strawman me. I did not mention a pendulum. I mentioned a spinning disc.
No, okay. You said something was hanging.
Hanging from a wire, yes.
Okay, where's the wire coming from?
It's connected to a gimbal at the top.
Where's the gimbal connected to?
The gimbal is connected to the apparatus to hold it up.
Okay, what's the apparatus connected to, Mattoon?
Super paid, controlled up. So easy to spot, honestly, like the more I look at it. I just wanted to share with you gyroscope. Just so you know what they're talking about. I know if you're watching this, you likely know what a gyroscope is. A device used for measuring or maintaining orientation and angular velocity. And this is all a lie. That's what it looks like. It's not all a lie. It's just it's misleading. I'll say it's misleading. But MC Toon, sorry, Austin, he's really good with calling it out. I like it. I just wanted to show you what it looks like.
Could you just get to your point?
And also with the gyroscope, like there's also other devices that are interesting, but that also, like, you can look at the luminaries and their path through the sky. Like if you'll notice around the spring and the fall equinox period, when I talk about like this divine clock and the path that the sun takes and the other luminaries, even like especially around this time, I think that daylight saving times is a way of like taking us away from that clock and balance and stuff like that, and to keep us like in a state of like unpredictability. And so that's why, like, for example, around this time, like the sun is actually setting like naturally like around 6 p.m. like entering into Libra, and but it's setting like now like an hour or so later than that now. And it's because, again, it's because they're trying to like have us not synced up with the divine clock and not realizing the connection and all that other stuff. So anyways, during this time too, you'll notice that like around that time, the moon is directly overhead as well during these periods as well, like when you're looking at it from like the observation standpoint, like rising in the east, setting in the west. Again, this is just my visual perception of it, that despite the fact that the sun makes a circular path, creating an ecliptical path above me within the firmament, 1,000 miles per hour, creating a fucking circular path, 360 degrees. Anyway.
I already did. You just weren't listening. There isn't an independent frame of reference.
Yeah, the gimbal allows it to rotate freely.
Okay, it's connected to something connected to the Earth, Mattoon?
It's allowed to rotate freely.
Okay.
So that doesn't negate the somehow
it's not,
that it's functioning
hovering
and
in the air.
and
Mattoon.
twisting
It's not
freely.
floating in the air,
So-
Mattoon.
Yes, it does not have an independent frame of reference, Mattoon.
Yeah, the gimbal allows that.
No,
So
it does not.
could you maybe substantiate the claim that a gimbal prevents rotation somehow?
I don't have to substantiate the fact that if something's connected to the Earth, it's still connected to the Earth.
It's not connected to the Earth in as much that it's allowed to rotate freely.
Okay, whatever the gimbal's connected to is connected to the Earth. There is no independent frame of reference, Mattoon.
I don't really care for your words and semantics there. It's allowed to rotate. So since it's spinning and it's attempting to stay rigid in three-dimensional space, and the gimbal allows it to rotate when it wants to rotate, it rotates when the Earth rotates. Actually, the Earth rotates and it stays still, so it spins. So now, if you're going to try to disprove that or dismiss that, I would ask how it is that it's rotating.
It's not. The Earth is a non-stationary plane.
Okay, I don't think you seem to be
Non-rotating,
understanding.
non-stationary.
There isn't an
Non-rotating
independent frame of reference. This is good. This is a pan going over your head.
The
Anyway.
gimbal allows it to be an independent frame of reference.
Okay, McToon, this is going nowhere, bro. All the listeners know what I just said. So there's got to be an inertial frame of reference, independent frame of reference is attached to the Earth. That is not the case. Axial rotation has never been substantiated. This is
There's
objective.
15 All right, so
You are
thank you
supposing-
for dismissing evidence. I love it when flat earthers do that because here's what happened a couple
I didn't
days
dismiss
ago.
it. I addressed it. I
Yeah, you
addressed
did.
it,
A
bro.
couple days ago, somebody said, when you double down in the face of contradictory evidence and you cannot rebuttal the evidence, you're exposing the flaw in your side. Thought
The
that was
irony,
pretty wise.
the irony in that statement, my man. But we're gonna see how much you do this. Okay, so axial rotation has not been substantiated. We can just move on. McToon, can you substantiate the claim of curvature?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
mctoon.net/r is 5 rigorous and detailed measurements of the the radius of the Earth.
They're rigorous, huh?
Rigorous, yes.
Okay, what's the radius of the Earth, McToon?
The radius of the Earth, 6,376,690 meters, according to Sir George Everest.
How many miles? How many miles?
Okay, what's the radius in miles, McToon?
In miles. I have it in meters. So
Okay, 3,959 miles is the radius of your religion. Do you know the circumference of the religion you adhere to?
About 24. So I do appreciate that you are going with the ad homs already. It does weaken your position. So thank you.
Your opening statement, you referred to me being religious, which is ironic, and you just now talked about me double downing in the face of contradictory evidence, which is what your entire stance does, McToon.
Yeah,
I've only reiterated your behavior.
So 5 rigorous and detailed measurements of the Earth's radius.
No one cares about your adjectives, man. Can you explain how you can substantiate curvature? Because you're making a positive claim there's curvature on Earth. We need proof.
Well, let's see. You can go to see it. You can go to mctoon.net/curve. Let's do that because you can see some nice ones. The very first one there is a horizon dip measured from Maine. So
okay, so people watching this have already seen my Pythagoras, the Earth curve calculator. It's my thumbnail, I believe, but I'll just I've shared this friggin' before, so I'm sorry for being redundant. I just friggin' like these are it's hard to get access to because of the censorship, and so I had to find this on the Wayback Machine and like go and span a few years in order to get access to this because it was page 404, the cosmic object you were looking for disappeared beyond the event horizon. Rockets aren't the only thing we launch. And so I went from that, where it was unavailable, to NASA reference publication 1207. Again, interesting number, is it not? August 1988. Derivation and definition of a linear aircraft model. This is fucking NASA publication, guys. These are the people. Look at these people. Ames Research Center, Dryden Flight Research Facility at Edwards, California. Scientific and Technical Information Division, etc., etc. We're talking about symbols, vectors, matrices, superscript, nonlinear systems, equations, nonlinear observation equations, linear systems, equations, etc., aerodynamic forces, all of this fucking stuff. Summary. This report documents the derivation and definition of a linear aircraft model for a rigid aircraft of constant mass flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth, MC Tune. And no, you can't even control F to do the search for flat. You have to actually, unfortunately, read all these fucking documents that these clowns keep on trying to hide from us. Well, 404, access denied, got through it. Took me fucking 2 seconds. Wayback Machine. So, you know, another one. This is Army Research Laboratory, propagation of electromagnetic fields over a flat Earth. McToon, Craig, fuck off already. Please. Do I have to show the Earth curve fucking fake ass calculator that's been repeatedly debunked as well? Probably. And again, it's going to go completely over their fucking heads. This is what I mean. Like Austin, man, like he's so patient. Like, God, he's patient.
The Earth.
And I have hundreds more. That's the thing. Like, even with these technical PAMs and stuff like that, I've actually done videos of this where it's literally, I'm just showing you the fucking technical, scientific doctrine, unclassified, declassified, open source information that's literally from official websites, including NASA, Army research publication, all of these fucking things. And I literally have shown that stuff.
Is a sphere.
Come on.
Then anywhere you go, the horizon must dip, right? It must never rise to eye level. Eye level would be the geometric horizon for a flat Earth, and a dip would be the geometric horizon for a spherical Earth. So the horizon dip has been measured many times, and here's one here you can actually see.
No, it hasn't.
If I could share my screen, is that, you think that would work?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how to do it, but is there a way? Can you see from your end a way you could do it?
Let's see. There it is. So, all right, so that looks like you can see what I've shared. There you go.
Okay, let me edit.
I do. It's a pretty nice app. I like StreamYard here. So, all right, so here is a theodolite that has been leveled and is pointing straight ahead. You can see the 90-0 is at that 0 at the top there. So that is at eye level, and you can see the horizon did not make it up there. To make sure that the theodolite isn't suffering from collimation errors, he flips the face of it and flips the theodolite telescope the other way.
I'll just put them together.
And then you can see it says 270-0-0, so that's the opposite direction. You can see again that the horizon did not rise. So then he turns it down and he measures the dip of the horizon there, and it's about 7 arc minutes. He did that 20 times, 10 in each face. And he got a mean zenith angle of 90 degrees, 7 arc minutes, 39 arc seconds, meaning that the horizon dipped that much. And when doing the math there, using the Alberundi method, it works out to be the radius of the Earth when you account for refraction, because you cannot skip conflating variables. You need to take them into account. So there is one.
Let's not just move on. Let's take this. Let's handle. Okay. So you're claiming that this is proving the curvature of the Earth, right?
I'm claiming that it's evidence for the curvature of the Earth.
Right, because science doesn't prove things.
Correct, because that is a logical fallacy.
Okay, maybe in heliocentric religion world, but science proves things. But nevertheless, here, is this going to be the same every time this observation is done, McToon?
If you account for refraction, then it is within a margin of error.
Okay, so you're accounting for refraction and then factoring that into the observation of your physical geometric horizon.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Right, based on the geometry of your Earth, right?
Yes.
Okay, why do we see the horizon rise at 128,000 feet if this is supposed to somehow prove to me that there's curvature at such a low altitude?
We don't.
Okay. So this is the best evidence you have for curvature?
No, this is one.
Okay. Well, let me just say, the reason this does not suffice is because, of course, the horizon's apparent. This is not going to be a consistent observation, and we all know it.
So do you have some conflicting evidence then?
I just gave some also.
I didn't do your experiment or attempt to prove.
So if you're gonna try to dismiss this evidence, I would expect that you'd come up with something other than just waving your hands and saying I don't like it.
No, right? I'm not. I'm explaining that this picture doesn't prove curvature.
It's not at all.
Of course it doesn't. It's evidence of curvature.
No,
it's hilarious that your religion can never have any proof. How convenient, man. So okay, is this going to be the same every day I go out and do it, McToon?
Yes, it will not rise to eye level.
Okay, so you know that this horizon picture on this same location, based on different refractive indexes, based on different conditions, will never vary where this horizon is right now?
It will vary every day, of course.
Okay, but it'll never rise.
It will never get too high. Now, of course, there is because there are sometimes extreme conditions.
So I'm just gonna have to show for anyone that's just to give perspective. This is their Earth curve calculations. This is their fucking model. This is their substantiation for a globe. Okay, not mine. Theirs. McTombs, Craig's, fucking all these people, and even at 3 miles. Okay, they try to like make it look like the Earth, the curve is like a beyond fucking that. Like, no, it's within 3 miles. There's they allege there's 6 feet of fucking curvature that a ship or anything would be obstructed beyond. Like the curvature again, like the object would be like we would not see it, and we have repeatedly and consistently debunked that. And the fact that he wants to say refraction, when it does the light not need to go from one medium to another in order for refraction to even occur. So let me know, Craig and MC Tune, where the medium transfer is happening, like where we're going from one medium to another for the light to be refracted through. Because in my opinion, you're not going through anything besides the medium being the air or the atmos, whatever you want to fucking call it. Okay, this gaseous atmos, it's gases. Okay, Craig, and again, I feel like the heavy metals again like seep to the earth again because whatever, it's the weight, density, the mass, whatever you want to fucking call it, not gravity either. And so give me examples of this. I've shown, and they say that light bends. Show me proof. Their lights can refract in various different fluids or spaces or whatever you want to call it, or environments, but it's not at a fucking curve like they're talking about. There's like a break, whatever you want to call it, and then there is another, let's say for example, like another light ray or whatever you want to call it being reflected or refracted. It's not curved. It's like curving over fucking, like this is what I mean. This is all bullshit. They're pretending that it's curves or that it does the friggin' like you're using when you use like a concave or a convex lens and then you put it and then you put a laser through it, that you get the light refraction and stuff like that as well. Not through the air if it hasn't transferred through another medium. I hope that makes sense. It's really hard to explain this stuff. And again, that this is not even my subject matter expertise. Like I'm a fucking international security analyst, ex-infantry officer, current business owner, and I would rather do training for the hostile environment awareness stuff, standing rapid deployment team course stuff to the higher levels of government instead of doing this. No offense. There we go. Sorry, it's fine.
But what happens is when you do a measurement from higher up, you get away from the extreme refraction conditions that happen near the surface. What was his elevation? He's a couple hundred feet up, I think. It's on a rise above the water. So once you get high enough, then you won't have any chance of having the refraction extreme enough. So, do you have anything to refute this, or is it just it's going to change every day? And so
well, that's just what happens, McToon. It's going to change based on different refractive input variables, right? So this is provable. Okay, so I don't know if you know how much you know about refraction, but we'll get to that.
Like anything.
So if you think this is not demonstrating or measuring a definitive curve, it's not substantiating a geometric horizon based on your imposed radius.
He's giving this where there's like a horizon that I can see that looks fucking flat. There's no curve. I don't see anything curved in here. Like I don't know what the hell he's talking about. So again, this is their big proof curve. So we're not even talking about the rotation, the spin, let alone that I just gave you government official documents that prove that this was a flat, non-rotating Earth, and that all the calculations derived utilize that fact. But I've also talked about the sun's path. The ecliptical path that it in fact makes. They can't deny or refute that, right? So explain to me, guys, how we can have it where the sun is traveling in one direction and the Earth traveling in the complete opposite, apparently going the exact same speed, but in the opposite fucking direction, and we're not factoring any of that fucking stuff in. It's one or the other. It's one or the other. It really is. Like, I mean, it could be both, yeah, but it's in this Earth plane, it's the how it's modeled out to be. There's no curve. I've repeatedly debunked it. So have countless other people. But even with the if they want to explain the Earth path, my explanation and my theory for that is the sun's path traveling 15 degrees every hour through these zodiacal signs. Every 2 hours passing through a zodiacal sign, 12 that we look at that it travels throughout on its ecliptical path above us within the firmament, much closer than we're being led to believe, and then going through the fucking clock, right? Traveling through all the zodiacal signs within a 24-hour period, and which is why they allege that the circumference is 24,000 miles approximately, the radius being approximately 4,000 miles, the diameter being approximately 8,000 miles. And all of these measurements and calculations for circumference can also be utilized by using the radius times pi r squared. Radius times pi. That's the diameter. Diameter times pi gives you the circumference, and then the radius times pi squared gives you the circumference.
It's not, but you are not presenting evidence that it's not.
Do you think that I have just
And 15
coincidentally?
degrees equates when we're looking at measuring from latitude, like latitude lines. 15 degrees equals approximately 1,000 miles. So these are measurable distances. So even the sun's path above us, okay, when it enters, it never goes beyond. It never goes beyond 23.4 degrees north or south latitude. These are also measurable distances. Okay, so approximately north or south latitude, never traveling beyond like 1,620 fucking miles or whatever it is, north or south latitude from the equator, but what I claim to be the North Pole in the center with Polaris at the top, and then again like the I would for people just for easy reference, I would give the example of the Gleason model just to look at for a frame of reference before I would give the globe Earth.
Compile 365 days of a year footage of this same location that you're proposing, Mattoon?
That would not be necessary. See, what this includes is it includes already addressing the refraction. It's already been included in the controls of this observation.
What are you talking about?
Okay. Are you not understanding my rebuttal, bro?
I think you're not actually making a rebuttal. I think you're just saying I don't like it and it's going to change, so I'm going to just wave it away. But you don't have actually any evidence to refute this.
Yeah, well, no, but two, what I'm saying, bro, is that one image is not going to prove a physical geometric horizon, hence the fact that it's the horizon and it fluctuates daily based on condition.
Sure. And because this is taken from a high elevation, the variations are very slight.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, that sounds like an assumption that's still disregarding my point.
That's not an assumption. If you want, I can bring up the scientific measurements substantiating
I already did.
The different refractive conditions at different elevations.
Okay, McTiernan, is this the best that you have to prove curvature, or do you have something better?
If you want, we can go to more.
Please.
So go back. We've got the horizon dip measured from New Zealand. I'll make sure that it's repeatable, right? So the guy did this from New Zealand. Now, he didn't do it from one place 20 times. He did it from, I think, about 15 different places here at different elevations. He actually used, these are specifically geodetic survey markers in New Zealand. So there's this CV3R. You can look this up yourself. 29 meters elevation. And then the dip was 0.16575 degrees. Then he went to all these different locations, including then this last one at 479 meters elevation, where the dip was 0.6558 degrees. You can see this chart here. He charted that out and accounted for refraction using the Gaussian 0.133 coefficient of refraction. And it matched the radius of the Earth that's been previously measured.
Oh, how was that done?
How was it done? Well, that was the first one, the radius of the Earth measured in those 5 different studies that I showed you.
I thought you were showing me the movement of the Earth.
The first one, that was the radius of the Earth, mc2.net/r.
MC2.net. No, thank you. I went on your site.
Spin.
That's garbage.
Okay, I'm just sitting here listening. I'm not going and looking at your website, bro.
That's fine. That's fine. Denying evidence is great for you guys. So
okay, bro.
Right. So we've got here another one. So do you want another?
You have a moderator. Okay, look, listen, man. If you say something, you have to allow me to present a rebuttal. Okay, do not just transition into something else. Okay, I said in my opening that something that requires a presupposition of your model is a fallacy. Are you familiar with begging the question fallacy?
Sure, and as soon as make sure that you clearly state your presupposition so that I can address it.
Sure. Okay, you're presupposing your ball Earth, McToon.
No, I'm not actually. I'm making a hypothesis saying if the Earth is a ball. That's not a presupposition. That's
okay.
That's how science works. If you don't like science, that's fine with me, because denying science doesn't do it.
I have multiple degrees here, and including I'm in my 4th year for cognitive science degree. It's on hold with Carleton University because I was trying to reach out on the record. I've been talking about this because I meant about it. I was trying to get my teachers, the heads of the departments and stuff like that, actual real science, and I was ghosted with them too. What a shocker, right? Like when you put the effort and the time and the work into putting it together dissertations or emails with credible sources and stuff like that, and you get fucked off by education systems that you're paying to provide, like anyway. And so, but I've done like some interviews with the with grad studies people like in the U.S. and I'm definitely open to speaking with academics from education systems and stuff like that, and doing whatever you want to call it, like speaking engagements and stuff like that.
Do well for you guys.
So are you?
Nice time. So a hypothesis is stated generally as an if-then statement. It comes in as a logical statement too. If
people, myself, so me and people like me, we're getting passed up and we're getting overlooked in the academic fields for people that believe that men are women and women can be men, and you know, all of this critical race bullshit, like theory bullshit, like those are the people that are getting the doctorates and the PhDs right now, and the electrical engineers and the mechanical engineers and degrees, and so.
Then another thing,
doctorates.
P then and Q, right? And then you test it to see if it happens. And so then you have two possible outcomes: Q, and then P is supported. It is still possible, or not Q, which means that P is not supported. So if yeah, exactly, and modus tollens. So if the Earth is a sphere, the horizon will not rise to eye level. The horizon does not rise to eye level, therefore, it still is likely possible to be a sphere. Then we can do the opposite. If the Earth is flat, the horizon must always rise to eye level. The horizon does not rise to eye level. Therefore, the Earth is not flat.
Okay, so I was gonna hold off on this, man, but you're just making it impossible. So I'm just going to offer up the rebuttal. You've pretty much already laid the groundwork for you to not be able to move on from this. So you are, to clarify, you are saying that the Earth has a physical geometric horizon, okay, and you derive that from the radius imposed of the sphericity of Earth. Is this correct?
Well, the radius has been measured, so it's not a presupposition. It's based on a measurement. The geometric horizon is different from the apparent horizon. So we can calculate where the geometric horizon is, and that's a simple geometry thing. The apparent horizon is much more complicated because refraction is an issue. So you need to do things to control refraction, right? And if you don't control refraction, then that...
Again, I'm making this stuff up with the refraction again. The calculations for like radius, circumference, or diameter, whether a sphere, a globe, or a circle, okay, when you're doing the measurements, it's the same. Like it's the same results, and so idiots like this just don't want to let you know that.
Reduces the quality of your observations. And
they want to lead you into these arguments where like you're both technically like right, could be right, you know what I mean? But like people like Austin say, like there are also by design arguments that can be made that work on a globe, a sphere, or a circle. There are arguments that can be made for this being like for a 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional, anyway, whatever you want to call it.
And make it so that you can draw no conclusions from it.
Okay, I'm going to ask it a little more pointed, maybe. So according to your model, would you agree that there has to always be a physical geometric horizon?
A geometric horizon is not what we see. So yeah, There is
convenient.
always a physical geometric horizon,
don't
but we
see
do
it.
not ever see it.
Crazy.
Can you explain to all the viewers
God.
that don't seem to
Is it Santa
understand how
Claus?
there could be a physical drop off and land and it not be visible?
Tooth fairy?
Well, there is a visible horizon, and it's a different than the physical horizon because of refraction. Refraction affects what we see.
So
As
what
you
you're
see on the
saying is
screen
the
here, there is on the screen here, we see the apparent horizon, and it's dropping.
Okay. Yeah, you're preaching to the choir, brother. You're preaching to the choir, bro. I know apparent horizons are all there are. Okay, so are you saying that the only horizon that will ever be visible is the apparent horizon, and that your mystical geometric horizon will not be perceivable?
We can't see it because the refraction affects our visibility of it.
So is this a ship or something like that, or a boat like in the water, like zoomed, and then it looks like when I conveniently it's at this bar here, but like right here, is that because like that's also another way that we can debunk his argument about refraction as well. There's so many different ways of doing it, but
It makes it disappear.
It makes it so that it's in a different place because refraction bends the light, so we see farther or shorter, typically farther.
bending isn't curving. I mean, you could call it whatever you want. What I mean by curving is like the bending light. Again, Google images are actually, maybe I'll just fucking show you a little bit. Again, I like being, I know this is a long video and everyone hates long videos. There's so many laser test experiments.
It's traveling. Did you see the magic? Did you see the magic trick? I just need you to get a transparent glass like this filled with water. So pause the video here and go and get a glass of water. Are you ready with your glass of water? Next, I'll be showing an arrow on the screen, and you pause the video when you see the arrow and hold up your glass of water in front of the screen, something like this, and look at the arrow again and tell me, what do you see this time? Did you see the magic? Did you see the arrow changing its direction? It's happening due to bending of light. This is called refraction of light, and it's going to be the topic of this video. And then, as usual, we'll finish off with our top 3 questions on this topic. I have this torch here with me. When I switch on the torch, it gives out a beam of light. A beam is composed of many rays of light. As you can see, each ray is traveling in a straight line. Now, for simplicity, let's consider a single ray of light. Now, how do I bend this ray of light? I can't just grab the ray of light and bend it, right? So what do you think I need to do to bend the light? You might be thinking of using a mirror. So a mirror certainly changes the angle by reflecting back.
And again,
the
this
light.
is risky to even share too, because again, like he's showing diagrams that he's drawing himself. I mean, like it's bending and stuff like that, but it's not curving. But he could easily
But what if
draw
I
it
ask you,
curving.
I want the
No,
light to
I would rather
continue
use a
downwards
laser test, like an actual real one,
and still bend it. Then what do we need to do? So you need a transparent material like glass or
do you have to
plastic.
transfer from one
Let's
medium to
imagine
another?
there's a
Interesting.
large glass block kept here, and I'm going to shine this torch on the glass block. Again, we'll consider a single ray of light for simplicity. Can you see the ray of light bending as it enters the glass block?
It also depends on the container.
This is known as refraction of light.
So the medium.
There is also a partial reflection when the light hits the glass surface. But we'll ignore that for this video, and our focus will only be on refraction of light. So what have we learned till now? Light.
I could go so much onto like light refraction, but it's even rainbows. Like there's ways that you can make rainbows and different shapes of rainbows by using like even like a shower head, or like even like for me, like when I water my garden sometimes, like when I spray like the mist spray, like I see like the friggin' rainbows, and like And like just again, even with like what they're saying to be like the arc or the shape of the rainbow above, there's also been completely circular rainbows as well, and different angled ones. But this, what I believe to be a dome, the dome shaped friggin' firmament, right? That is an even stronger argument for the fact that like the light being reflected or whatever you want to call it off the dome, like it's bending, whatever you want to call it. It's occupying the contained space. If that makes any sense. And there's other reasons why it curves as well too, not just because of the shape of the dome, just to be clear. But anyway, there's so many different factors to look at, like the pressure, the temperature, like the source, what it's being reflected onto.
What the geometric horizon is.
So how would it disappear if it's a physical location?
I've not ever seen it disappear.
I've never seen it exist, McToon.
You're looking at it on the screen right now.
You just said this was an apparent horizon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. That is a geometric.
Yeah, the geometric horizon is it's a physical thing based on the geometry. So you're getting confused on that, and you're going down this line of.
I'm not the one that.
So that I'm not saying that there's not advanced technologies that make you see further. Like that's not what I'm claiming. So like with telescopes and with freaking binoculars and with cameras and stuff like that. Yes, absolutely. With advanced technologies, you can see beyond. Like even beyond that, like there's the observable Earth curve distances and stuff like that that have been repeatedly refuted, and
That's confused, McToon. I know exactly what I'm talking about, and you seem to be shucking and jiving. You're pretty bright, so you're being dishonest. Okay, I'm going to break it down for you, and then we're going to hear you respond. Okay, there's a radius that you imposed on the Earth based on your religious belief of it. Okay?
And even with that bend, like the curvature that they allege, like I will reiterate, very, very, very like within 3 miles, like with the 6 feet alleged curvature and stuff like that, like the water at that point is bending significantly. So like they're alleging that it's this alleged gravity that's keeping the water like curved somehow in this magic ball, that they're still not like showing the like this curve. There's no geographic physical curve, like so you know. Anyway, and so water starts to drop off and stuff like that, and then so and ships as well, and make it make sense.
Take that. I will not take that insult. You do not get to make that ad hom. That is a measured radius. Not a religious thing.
Okay.
It's measured.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm sure there's no presuppositions required to deduce the radius of the Earth. But look, just to save time and here, less shucking and jiving because it's exhausting, bro. We're going to go with your model, okay? And we're going to say the radius is 3,959 miles deduced from the circumference, which is 24,901 miles. Do we agree?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to present something now, bro. So, McToon, are you familiar with swans?
Yeah, get to it.
Okay. So, do you see this picture here, McToon?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'm sure you've seen this, right? This is the black swan as it has been coined. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay, so this observation was taken at 1 foot observer height, right? Okay, now if you factor in the observer height with the radius to deduce the geometric horizon, it will be at roughly 1.2 miles. Okay, in this image, they've given you 5 feet, which it was actually at 1 foot, and the geometric horizon would be at 2.73 miles. Okay, now we see that there is not a physical geometric horizon in between us and these oil rigs, for example, at 6 miles and 9 miles, but there's actually a horizon behind it. Can you explain where the geometric horizon is, McToon?
Well, we don't see the geometric horizon, so I'm not going to address the geometric horizon. I will address the apparent horizon, though, because that's what we see.
No. You cannot just dismiss the geometric horizon because it has to be there for the Earth to
addressed that and said very clearly multiple times, we do not see the geometric horizon, we see the apparent horizon. The apparent horizon is affected by refraction. The geometric horizon we cannot see because the refraction messes with it. modifies where it is. So I said that earlier, and you're still demanding that I talk about the
The light
geometric
refraction,
horizon.
like modifies
There is no
where what is, where the ship is.
geometric horizon that's visible.
This guy,
Okay.
no idea what he's talking about.
So
if you're
Bro, please stop interrupting me, man. I'm letting you chill, dude. Let me talk back. Okay. So your model claims, based on the geometry of the shape of the Earth, that there's a physical, tangible, literal geometric horizon in which the land drops off and down and away from you. Is this correct?
There is a physical. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And
But
you're
we don't-
saying it's never visible and only apparent horizons are visible.
Correct. What I've been
So-
saying is that we're repeating here. Come on.
Yeah, but it isn't a sufficient answer, Muktoon. You don't seem to understand that, right? If the Earth is a ball, if it's a spherical object that with a physical geometric horizon, you cannot simply say, we don't see it. That is not sufficient. Okay, there has to be a visible, physical horizon.
zero
There can be a slight fluctuation into it. So I'm going to ask point blank again. 1 foot observer height. It should be 1.2 miles to the geometric horizon. All the oil rigs are is a frame of reference of distance. We can see clearly there is a horizon far beyond the 9-mile structure. Can you explain to me what's going on in the image and how it can coincide with your ball Earth?
Sure. That is the apparent horizon. It is affected by refraction. This observation did nothing to control for refraction. But fortunately, people have already done experiments and measurements to measure what kind of refraction happens over water close to it. So since the observer here didn't care to control for refraction, we just have to go to something else, right? So in 2003.
Wait, no. You
I'm addressing what you asked me to address. What's the visible horizon?
No, I need to address the evidence presented, bro. You just tried to completely dismiss it.
Like always.
Well, there is refraction happening. So if you're just like, why? Then I'll just say there's refraction. We don't know how much because
does refraction prove a fucking globe too? I don't understand what his argument is. Can someone help me? Like, I don't understand. Like, is he claiming that refraction proves a globe Earth too, or something? What is he
There's
talking about?
5 types of refraction, Tune.
refraction is refraction. I don't need to.
That isn't
tell you
true. That isn't true.
I don't need to tell you the different categorizations of it.
Yes, actually, you do. This is your claim.
Yes, it's my claim. My claim is not this is a particular category of refraction. I'm saying the refraction is happening here. And you can see that. Bring that image back up again.
You can't even explain refraction.
So you can see over on the left side, the crane that's sticking out on the left side of that platform is extremely refracted, right? We know for sure there is strong and aggressive refraction effects happening there, right? Because that crane arm is
I can't
not
explain
straight.
refraction. I don't know what it
What is
is.
your point, bro?
I can't
We're not
explain it. I
talking
can't
about
describe it. I can't anything. But it's aggressive and it's scary.
structures.
Aggressive refraction is happening. So that's evidence that there's a lot of refraction happening. So when there's lots of refraction happening and you've not controlled for that, then what can we
murder your
conclude?
family.
Nothing, because we don't know how much refraction is happening. But we do know that it is possible to have enough refraction that the ray of light bends at the same rate as the radius of the Earth. That's been measured.
No, it hasn't.
McToon, bro.
No, it hasn't.
Can we?
Yes, bro.
Can you level out here, because you can have your little sarcastic comments, but I don't know what you think the third party viewer is thinking right now. So I'm going to ask again. You're attempting a subtle hand wave dismissal. That does not work in an intellectual forum.
I'm ready to bring up the actual evidence if you
And
want
he
to.
claims he won.
Maybe I'll ask the question in elementary terms, McToon.
This is over 4 years ago. He claims to have won this debate.
There has to be a physical horizon here. It isn't visible. There is an apparent horizon visible beyond the structures at 9 miles. You're talking about refraction that you can see on the structures. The structure is not the argument, Matune. It is the horizon being visible far beyond the structures.
So I'm showing my screen. You wanna put that on?
Sure, man.
All right. So this is from a study done by Kabashi in Germany. And they used reciprocal zenith angles. So they took two theodolites and they pointed them at each other, and they have a light on each theodolite. And so each time frame, every like 5 minutes, they measure the angle to each other in order to see that light, right? So it's measuring how much up and down is being refracted. This is 5 meters over water, right? 5 meters high over water. And this is then the horizontal axis is time, right? So we've got and then this it goes up to 2 here on the left side. You can see it goes up to 2 at 3 o'clock, right? So that's the refraction coefficient is the vertical axis, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, up to 17. So this is a coefficient of refraction of 2, means that the ray of light is bending at the same radius as the Earth, which means that you can see indefinitely far. Now that doesn't always happen because different areas of the water will have different refractive coefficients of refraction. But you can see here, it reached 2, which means you can see indefinitely far. This is a measurement that happened. People have measured this to happen many times. It is empirical. It is observational. It happens. So since we don't know what happened in that particular image, we can say, well, it could be any amount of refraction. And it apparently is a lot of refraction because those things have big artifacts on them. So there you go.
All right, cool. We have a whole long way of not answering the question, Matune. So I'm gonna ask you again, bro. Well, here we go. Where is the physical horizon necessitated by your religious belief of the spherical Earth?
Again, the physical horizon is not visible. So I'm not going to answer where the physical horizon is. I will answer where the visible horizon is.
Okay, so are you conceding that there isn't a physical geometric horizon in the image?
We went over this again. You're on loop. I already
because you're not answering. You're causing the loop, my friend.
See the physical horizon, or the geometric horizon. We see the apparent horizon.
So there is a horizon here that should be creating 60 feet of bulge prior to the structures, but we just don't see it because why?
Refraction.
Okay, now what are the 5 types of refraction, and can you specify what type of refraction is causing that to happen?
Looks to me like a coefficient of refraction of 2 or more.
That is not a type of refraction.
I don't care.
Well, it doesn't really matter if you care, McToon. Of course you don't care because this is a death blow to your model, bro. You don't really want to fall.
Hold up. I'm just going to interject here. I think that it would be a good idea in order to move the conversation forward if we do answer this question here.
I'm sure that you do think that, bro, but I have debated McToon once, and he did that every time. So that's not how this is going to work, okay? He has to address and specify his claim for the evidence that is being presented against his model. Okay, so he's got to answer the question. Refraction is not the entirety of the answer. Do I need to provide a source to explain refraction? Because it's your claim, Mattoon. So can you tell us exactly what type of refraction it is and how it applies to this image and how it explains it?
It is downward refraction matching the radius of the Earth at times.
What? Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not trying. Okay.
So I have presented to you empirical measured evidence of refraction happening at that rain or water, similar conditions, and you laugh about it because you don't like it, because it contradicts what you really want it to be true, but it's not. I'm sorry. Refraction happens. It's been measured. Now, maybe you have some measurements of refraction over water to contradict this, or maybe you want to take some time and look at this study and find some flaws in the methodology. Fine, mctoon.net/refraction, right? Go ahead, look that up.
I'm getting a little upset, bro. I understand that your religion's being dismantled in live time, bro, but it's okay. All right, I see you getting flustered here, and I know you're trying to divert.
You brought laughing and mocking.
I'm sorry, I try not to laugh, bro, but I've sat here patiently listening to you just divert, okay? And so it made me laugh.
Directly addressing it with empirical measurements that you
No. You're changing away from the evidence. It's called diversion. You're trying to show me some little magical graph you have over here. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the
magical graph. It's an empirical measurement.
It isn't about this image, is it?
No, but your image lacks controls. So lacking the controls, I brought in some third-party controls that we can use to try to understand what's going on.
No, you're trying to divert. The controlled variable here is the observer height. Okay?
Yes, but you did not control for refraction. There's nothing in this observation that addresses the refraction.
McToon, are you familiar with what flat earthers' position is on the horizon? We say that it's apparent, okay? Your belief is that there's a physical horizon. So you're telling us about the refraction.
And I understand how it would work in both ways. It would always rise to eye level, and it would typically be higher because of refraction, and it would be kind of blurry because it would fade off into too much distance.
Okay, so I'm going to clarify because you're using wizardry. You are having to say that the geometric horizon is there, but we don't see it, and some type of refraction is causing it to go all the way back behind the structures at 9 miles. Is that your claim?
Absolutely. That's completely correct, and that's backed up by empirical evidence.
Okay, what type of refraction is causing that to happen, McToon?
I would say that is a coefficient of refraction of 2 or more.
That isn't a type of refraction.
Care to categorize the refraction.
You don't know what the fuck you're
So you
talking
don't even
about.
understand your own claim.
If you want to categorize it, you go ahead.
Earth curve calculator. Again, this is their fucking model. This is their calculations or whatever you want to call it, not mine. 8 inches per mile squared. 8 inches per mile squared. Is there anything regarding refraction in that equation when discussing the Earth curve alleged curvature, whatever you want to call it, the Earth curve? No. 8 inches per mile squared. Where the fuck is there anything about refraction in there? So again, like he's like using refraction to prove something. I just can't.
And put it into whatever category you want. I don't care for the categories. I care for the actual empirical measurement that coefficient of refraction of 2.0 or higher, which happens over water often, can cause indefinite distance.
Indefinite distance.
So it's causing the physical horizon to go behind the structures and disappear.
Apparent horizon, yes.
Oh, so the horizon's apparent.
I've said that over and over again. Did you forget that? The apparent horizon is all that we get to see.
This is painful, bro. So, okay, this is a new one. What you're saying is, as a globe earther, that you never see the geometric horizon.
I don't know why you keep asking the same question over and over. No,
because you keep ducking them.
We see the apparent horizon. We don't see the geometric horizon because refraction modifies our view of everything. If there were no air and nothing else to affect the path of light, then yes, the apparent horizon and the geometric horizon would be the same.
So dumb.
Okay, I'm not letting the wizardry go. Okay, because I did the first time we debated. So I'm putting your feet to the fire. This is my stream. I don't have to do this. Okay, if you're not going to be intellectually honest, then I'm not going to sit here and let you and your friend control the dictation of the way that
People
this
like
goes.
this are getting people within our community killed.
I'm presenting the first thing I've presented. I'll let you shuck and jive and tiptoe around with your wizardry. Now I'm offering an observation, right? This is what science is, right? We take observable phenomena. Okay, here's the observation. McToon. Okay, now I'm well aware that you would prefer that I just accept your explanation as a broad assertion of refraction, but that is not sufficient. There are different types of refraction. You have to explain to me how it's causing the illusion of the horizon and removing the geometric horizon. It doesn't matter what you say about it. It doesn't matter if you don't like it. Of course you don't like it. This is lifetime dismantling your religion, but it is objective that you are going to have to explain how refraction is causing the horizon to disappear and reappear in the distance. What type of refraction is making that happen? It's a brand new anomaly. Please explain. Thousands of people are waiting.
It is a coefficient of refraction of 2.0 or higher.
Okay, so basically I guess we're just gonna have to accept this as a concession because you're gonna keep doing it, you know? Like
I've given you empirical measurements that coefficient of refraction 2.0 or higher happens over water. The 2.0 coefficient of refraction causes the light ray to bend at the same radius as the Earth.
Such a lie.
Allows us to see indefinitely far over the Earth. And you're trying to demand that I somehow categorize it. You can put it into whatever category you want. I don't need to. It is simply downward refraction, and it's matching the radius of the Earth or more in order to see that far.
it's downward refraction. Okay, so are you not familiar with the 5 types of refraction, McToon? Because this is your thing.
I don't really. If you want to categorize them, you go ahead and you put it into whatever category you think it needs to be in. Right? Go ahead and do that. I don't care for that.
Of course you don't care for it, bro, but it's your claim. You're claiming this, bro.
I didn't claim that it was one of 5 categories of refraction.
That is the consensus of what refraction is.
Oh, consensus is important to you now?
Oh, so
tell me about consensus.
So now you're postulating.
Okay, so like for example, with consensus, we've got the I don't know, the alphabet. We have fucking like a proof standardized fucking mathematical equations that we have to universally agree on, or at least like a collective group, in order to be able to fucking function within that those parameters of that of like for example with the alphabet, of like utilizing language and words based off that alphabet, it would have to be collectively agreed upon for the people that are fucking trying to communicate with each other. You dumb fuck.
A new interpretation of refraction for the whole world?
Not at all. I'm going based on empirical measurements, like the one by Kabashi here.
Stop diverting. Stop diverting. Stop it, bro. Everyone can see what you're doing, bro. You're diverting.
I'm just gonna interject here and say that it would be, to move the conversation forward, it would be good to have the 5 types of refraction defined, and then we can see if that's relevant to the conversation.
I agree with that. So I'll just go ahead and do it, since this is your explanation, but you
don't talk at me. Those categories are not my explanation.
Okay, so this doesn't matter. This is the interpretation of the different types of refraction known to man. Okay, so this is refraction.
Go ahead, go with the straw man.
Okay, so are you dismissing are you disputing the interpretation of refraction around the world?
No, I'm going based on experts in refraction, like Ismail Kabashi, who measured that over water we can have a coefficient of refraction of 2 or higher.
That's why.
Okay,
That's why it would be.
I'm just gonna read it, bro.
We're just gonna have to like go with like examples over land. You know, it's harder just because again, there's like there's hills and valleys and mountains and shit like that. But there's like areas where we're just gonna have to fucking continue to do this stuff, to like use the infrared as well, and just keep on destroying that alleged fucking Earth curve fucking model that they give, because it just never give this shit up.
There are 5 types of refraction. Okay, we got mirage, we got looming, we got sinking, towering, and stooping. Which one of those types of refraction, which is not debatable, no matter how much you want to shuck and dive around it, is being applied to your explanation for the black swan, McDoon?
I don't know why you think that you need to demand that I categorize it. If you want a category,
Explain it.
you go ahead, but that's not my claim. That's a straw man. The refraction effects that are happening are quantified and known. So, but of course, the observation you have, they didn't do anything to control the variables there. So you don't know. You have no clue. It's a totally uncontrolled experiment or observation. It's not even an experiment. It's an uncontrolled observation. You don't know how much refraction is happening. There's no temperature taken anywhere. You don't know the lapse rate. You don't know anything there because it was pretty lazy.
This is
The Earth
exhausting,
curve model that they gave us is enough. It's refuting.
bro. So,
Can we just, I just want to interject with because I'm not sure that this is relevant. If Austin can explain how it's relevant, then we can,
Sure. It's very simple. What I am presenting is an observation. I'll just break it all the way down, Mattoon. From what we do here is we know that the observer height is 1 foot. Okay, you take the observer height based with the radius of the spherical Earth that you are claiming. Okay, and then you can deduce the geometric horizon. Right here, maybe this will help you. So if we deduce the
horizon, you can't see the geometric horizon. Where is the apparent horizon, and what is the predicted apparent horizon for that observation?
Okay, we don't need your predictions because we're sitting here looking at what the observation was, correct? So
you're going to go with a logical claim.
A logical claim. No, this is what I mean. Like, this is observable and measurable distances that he's talking about, and and then MC Toon is trying to allege that these measurable distances are a hypothesis. Again, a fucking gaslighter, right? Like if I'm measuring a distance between me and the tree there, you know what I mean? Like with using a fucking measuring tape. Like that is a measurable distance, and that's you know what I mean. I'm not making a fucking hypothesis. I can make an assumption based on where I am right now that it might be approximately like I don't know, like 20 meters away. You know, based on my experience, my skill sets and stuff like that, and looking at like other comparisons and examples of distances in my past to make that assumption. But I'd still have to go outside, get my lazy ass outside with a tape measure and still confirm it, okay, before I fucking start saying that it's a fact.
You need to get the prediction correct, okay? So don't bring a fallacy prediction in place, right?
Agreed.
A fallacy prediction puts the entire thing in away. You don't get to use it if it's a fallacy, right? So if you're going to tell me what the apparent horizon is going to be, you need to correctly predict the apparent horizon. You can't use the geometric horizon and then say, that's what we should see for the apparent horizon. They're not the same thing. Predict the apparent horizon, not the geometric horizon when you're doing that test.
Okay, I don't think you're understanding the argument here, or you're being dishonest. So I'm going to continue.
Bring up that Otis.
If you don't mind,
let's see it.
If you don't mind, shh, and let me finish, please. Okay, thank you. So, at 1 foot observer height, based on the radius of the Earth that you are claiming, which we have established is 3,959 miles, deduced from the circumference of 24,901 miles. You then can formulate a geometric horizon. The geometric horizon, a physical, tangible, literal horizon that drops off because of the sphere going down and away from you because of geometry, should be no further than 1.2 miles. In this meme, we have given you 5 feet. The maximum distance to the geometric horizon should be 2.73 miles. Now, it doesn't really matter what you say about it. That is objective math based on your model. We are looking at all the way to 6 and 9 miles. Without
clear. I will agree. That is the measurements to the geometric horizon.
So cut straight to the chase. Are you saying there's a geometric horizon here, and where is it at, Mattoon?
You've looped on this how many times? We don't see the geometric horizon. We see the apparent horizon, which is different.
So the geometric horizon is clearly not here.
I keep saying that, and you keep wanting to try to pin that on me.
Okay, so that's a concession.
Pin that on me. That's a straw man.
No, that's a concession. I'll take it. You just conceded there isn't a physical geometric horizon in the image.
We don't
Okay.
see the geometric
Isn't one.
horizon. We see.
Okay, now you're not conceding.
So don't
Okay.
put words in my mouth. Don't straw man me. We see the apparent horizon. We do not see the geometric horizon. Your
But it's still there.
calculations are for the geometric horizon. So stop calculating the geometric horizon and calculate the apparent horizon. Then see if
No.
it matches.
That's your.
The geometric horizon has to be there, McToon. This is your religion, not mine. I know there isn't a radius of the earth, okay? You're the one that has to claim that, and you have to stand behind the radius. Do you understand the physicality of the argument here? There's a physicality of the argument. You are trying to hand wave dismissal it. It is not going to work, okay? You've said this encompassing term refraction. I've asked you to specify. There are different types of refraction. Then you threw a little fit saying you don't want to talk about the different types of refraction.
I've done more than just categorize the particular type of refraction. I've gone way past that. I've addressed it using the coefficient of refraction. I've talked about lapse rate. All this is way past the simple categories of refraction.
No, it's an explanation of why refraction. Listen, bro, this will help you. This will help you maybe. Refraction isn't a sufficient answer because refraction is relative to the horizon. You are claiming that that horizon is being eliminated from the view and shot back to behind the platforms. Okay, so that's a new type of refraction unknown to the world.
Are you claiming that refraction cannot affect the horizon?
No, but it is not nearly what we see in this image. Now, is it, McToon?
What do you mean nearly?
Actually, no, of course. I am not claiming that the refraction cannot. Of course it can. That's all the horizon is. It's an apparent horizon. Your belief is there's a physical horizon, McToon.
You're straw manning me again. No. We see the apparent horizon, not the physical horizon.
No. I'm not straw manning you. Do you believe there's a physical geometric horizon that we live on?
Yeah, but we don't see it.
We don't see it.
We see the apparent horizon.
And it makes the geometric horizon disappear.
We don't see that. Stop. That's just
You
such
don't
a.
seem to understand it, McToon.
The geometric, we see the apparent. Then it's possible that you could see the same one, but typically that would require no atmosphere.
Okay, so I don't see how much more layman's terms I can present this. I think I've done it pretty much every way, but it's very simple. Your explanation isn't sufficient. Anyone with above 100 IQ right now knows that. Okay, there's a physical horizon. You're claiming that you don't see it, and that there's only the apparent horizon.
And does this so even with aircrafts, okay, like with radar and sonar and stuff like that, being able to calculate like well beyond that, is that refraction too that's happening in order for them to to get any like let's say like images or fucking or like a hit on or anything like that, like nothing he says makes sense to me anymore.
Are you conceding that there is no physical geometric horizon? Are you saying
No,
that it's
I'm
there?
conceding
If you're
that you don't see the physical horizon. You've looped on this so many
okay,
times.
let's just move on. It's a concession, okay?
Stop. I'm not conceding that the geometric horizon is what we see, and you're trying to pin that on me, and that's a straw man.
No. This is what I know. This horizon right here, brother, that's just the apparent horizon because that's all the horizon is. It's the apparent horizon. Actually, that's a redundant phrasing there, okay? So all it is the appearance of the sky meeting the ground. That's what we all know. Flat earthers know this. We don't have to lie about reality and bend it into something that it's not. You're doing a dance.
For example, you jumped on a friggin' ship or whatever, and like you were like friggin' like sailing out. Like the apparent horizon is going to continue to go beyond, if that makes any sense, right? Like you're never going to meet the apparent horizon. It's this guy's ridiculous.
Right now that you're trying to defend your religion, you're trying to say it's refraction, but I don't want to specify it. I don't have to cite it. I don't have to know exactly what type of refraction it is. I don't have to explain that there's a physical horizon there that's MIA. I just, you didn't take into account. Can I move away from it? Okay, but simply, this is a death blow. It's irrefutable to your model. You've done a very good job of proving you don't understand the argument or being dishonest.
Evidence with empirical measured evidence, and you have just dismissed it because it's a little uncomfortable for you.
No, he's using it to counter you.
Okay, you self-project a lot, McToon. But so I think that we all know you can't understand it. It's very simple. There is no explanation. It's no big deal. The apparent horizon is the only type of horizon that there is. The horizon is inherently apparent due to perception and different different factors of refraction and atmospheric conditions. That's why it varies from day to day, because it is an apparent location. Your model necessitates a physical location. It doesn't matter how much you want to ignore that. That is objective.
Yeah, there is a physical horizon, absolutely, and we don't see it though, unfortunately. So
why?
Because refraction modifies the path of light.
You saying refraction's taking the physical location, making it be invisible to the viewer, and then sending it back behind the 9-mile structure.
No. What's happening is more of the water is being brought to us because of refraction. So the light goes up from the horizon, from the water, right, and then it curves, matching the radius of the Earth around the curve to the observer.
And he can't even explain
This is
any
simple geometry, and it's math. So
it's simple geometry. Okay, yeah. Maxime, you've done a sufficient job of not answering the question, bro. I always leave it up to the third party. You know, like, I can't make you be honest, bro.
Yeah.
So I think MC Toon has answered the question. If Austin has a response to that, we can let him respond. If not, I think that it would be a good idea to move on.
Okay, yeah, sure. Of course, this always wants to be moved on from, and we can move on. I think I've done a very thorough job of demonstrating that you're shucking and jiving, being dishonest. You have not even clarified your response with any specificity. You haven't even explained what type of refraction it is. You're trying to hand-wave dismiss it from the beginning, saying that you don't like the factors involved. Of course you don't. The factors dismiss your entire religion. So this is a concession, whether you know it or not. It's cool. I know that you don't like that word, but
I
you
don't
have
appreciate
literally
this comment, but I understand why you need to do it.
God.
Okay, so
Get a
we'll
better
move on.
job.
But in conclusion, very simply, based on the radius of
better
the Earth,
job.
there has to be a
Hold up.
geometric physical horizon.
One thing that I'm going to do, if we're going to move on, because Austin has had the last two points to bring up, I think it would be a good idea to let MC Toon bring up a point.
Okay, yeah, and I brought up one point. He's brought up like 7 different experiments and proofs, but I don't really care. He can go on.
Yeah, I showed measurements of Earth rotation, measurements of Earth's radius and curve. So I've brought up 3. So maybe, yeah, I'd say, why don't Austin?
I brought up the Pythagoras Earth curve model that has been repeatedly debunked. I've brought out, actual publications and data, technical PAMs included, from NASA and Army publications that even specify, like, using like high-level math to utilize a flat, stationary, non-rotating Earth, flat, stationary, etc. Anyway, I've showed all of that. I've shown my examples of light refraction and how, like, these alleged claims he's making regarding, like, bending and curving, like he claims, is bullshit. And they have not proven any physical horizon which would be needed in order to create the shape of the alleged globe or ball that they're fucking talking about. And I could go on. And they're going to keep on dismissing this. And Austin did a really good job of, like, sharing his own proof and trying to make it nonsensical. But, like, it doesn't matter what you share with these people. You can lead a horse to water. You can't make it drink. He's exploiting the community and getting a lot of money off of it. And so I would love to just deplatform them. Just deplatform. Like, people can start reporting their accounts, reporting their friggin' videos. They're doing it to us. All right. Like, I know that everyone's, like, super polite and nice and like the flat earth to the community, right? But, like, they're not nice. They're reporting us. Like, my accounts keep on getting deleted and censored and stuff like that. And it's also because of the viewers that are trolling me, that are coming from these fucking channels, right? Or other channels, you know what I mean? And so, like, we should be doing more of that to them, see what it fucking feels like, and peacefully. And, well, not like you're just clicking a button, so it's not like it's, like, that's pretty fucking peaceful. Clicking a button is not exactly inciting anything, but, and hold these people accountable, get on their sites, be more informed like we all are, and comment on their channels. And anyway, there's so much that we could do.
Like the measurements of flatness or something.
Okay, well, that was funny. So anyway, I'm pretty sure I clearly stated I don't know a definitive
I know
model.
everyone
You're the
thinks that
one
we
claiming-
shouldn't be petty. Oh, did I lock it? Everyone, like, anyone that I talk to says, like, you've got to be nice. Yeah, we shouldn't steep to their, like, I say that too. I know I say that too. Yeah, I'm just yeah, I need these reminders because I always have to say too to myself, like we can't stoop at that level, right? Like hurt people, and when once you're going from like a lower level of consciousness or a lower level vibe or emotion, then like you're also like putting out that butterfly effect out into the ether, right? And so it's fucking true. Yeah. And I do believe in free speech, even with what's going on with even with porn and stuff like that. Like I'm not I don't think it's useful. I don't think it does anything good for society. I think that there's it's exploiting certain groups, including children. And I think there just needs to be a little bit more accountability and ownership, at the parental level, at the community level and stuff like that. And then proper education, proper I don't know, societal development and stuff like that.
To know what the Earth is. In fact, you are the one claiming definitive measurements. So anyway, let's just move on.
Now, I have heard you say it's flat on your own stream.
All observation shows that it's flat, right?
Okay, because so maybe you have some observations.
No, I don't have to give you observations, bro. I just took a nap. I woke up and I came to dismantle your religion casually, bro. You've already done it for me.
Perfect. You don't have observations, so you have no evidence to.
Yeah, sure. Here, I got some evidence, bro. I'll show you the video, man. You want to just play the video? Do you want me to play a video? I don't really think that I think you know what the Earth is. It's called being intellectually honest. You claim that you do most definitely know. So you're having to substantiate your positive claim of the sphericity and the movements of the Earth inside this heliocentric model. We can move on because I can show the flaws in all of it. Okay, so very simply, you think that we live on a globe and that Earth is a near perfect vacuum. Would you agree with that?
What's a near perfect vacuum?
Space.
Sure.
Okay, how do you agree that the natural antecedent to gas pressure is containment?
Oh, could you support that claim, please?
That pressure needs containment. Yeah, the word press up on the container.
Oh, no, not through a dictionary, but actually through some sort of a where is the statement that pressure demands a containment.
Well, all observation shows that, so you would have to.
No. You're just making a claim. You're just making an assertion.
Okay.
So okay. What is the actual where?
If I blow air into a balloon, then if I blow air into a balloon, does it need to be a balloon to hold the air in it, Mattoon?
Yeah, that's one example. You've said it's the necessary antecedent. So you've made an assertion. So support that assertion.
Okay. Do you know what that word means? It's the natural or necessary antecedent to gas. That's a dictionary thing. So listen, man. I'm claiming a definitive physical law. If you're saying it's not true, all you do is provide one example of it not being true, and then I'm wrong.
I'll have some citations for this then. Okay. Let's see. Post them.
Are you disputing that pressure requires containment, Mattoon?
Pressure requires containment. I'll take that. Yes.
Okay. What are you getting at? Does the Earth's atmosphere
What do you think
gas
that? What theory are you going off of?
Pressure.
Sorry.
It has atmospheric pressure.
I'm trying. I'm trying to sound like them. This is so petty. I'm being petty, but I'll try to stop being so petty.
Yes. Okay, is there gas in the atmosphere, Mattoon?
Yeah, so there is containment, and it is gravity.
Okay, so is there a physical barrier of containment, or it's just this mystical deified force?
There is no physical barrier.
All right, and now we can go on to your magical force, and it can be dismantled as well. But what I'm trying to say is, can you provide any example in natural world where pressure doesn't require containment?
Absolutely. If you want, I'm sharing my screen right now.
Absolutely. It's such a fake confidence. Absolutely.
All right, so this is here a video by Dwayne Kellum. And you can see here on the screen, he has a few different things, Wednesday, July 24, 29. On the far right, you see barometric pressure, and it's in inches of mercury, which is 29.88 of mercury. So this is on the ground. This is just before launch, or as they're about to launch. So yeah, you can see here it's going up, right? Now I'll skip ahead a little bit here. You can see now the pressure's down to 12.8. Now you can review this footage if you want. You'll find that between the ground and this level, there were no physical containers that it went through. If we can pop further in here, we can see the pressure is now 2.73. We can go farther.
He's saying that the differences in pressure, the temperature variations are due. He's saying that the temperature variations are what's creating a physical, like a non-physical barrier, and it's due to gravity. Again, this is not even my expertise, and even with Dave from like a Solar, like whatever his channel is from in Witsit, like these people, like Dave, like I think he was saying like he's a construction worker, friggin' hard labor, doing a lot of good work to help friggin' families, right? Like whoever built this house, you know, like likely men, you know what I mean? And I really friggin' appreciate it. This is like way better than anything I could ever friggin' build, right? So like hard friggin' labor, and he's having to go out and try to explain fucking science to people that are supposed to be scientists, who have not done any friggin' form of like hard labor in their entire friggin' lives, and getting 2,500 subscribers to sit at their friggin' desk and troll people like Dave and I and Jaron and fucking Mark and Dave and so many others, Eric Dubé. Oh, this is the wrong one. But yeah, like, so I'll just copy and paste this in here. This is just to give an example of deceit, like he's dishonest. Now, relating pressure, volume, amount, and temperature. I don't see anything in here where it states gravity. So like, okay. We've got the medium, the gas, hot plate off, hot plate on medium, hot plate on high, etc. Talking about different fucking temperatures and pressures. And when you have it where it's in the negatives, the pressure seems to be lower. When you have like the increase in temperature, pressure seems to be whatever. I'm just going off of this. And this is kilopascals or whatever, like I believe it is. But anyway, so again, this is not my expertise. I was an infantry officer, including being in the special forces for over 15 years. And then I incorporated as part of Athena Incorporated as an international security analyst that also does executive protection, teaches the higher levels of government, or at least I was, for hostile environment awareness training, responding to natural and man-made disasters internationally across the fucking world, not a fucking globe. And so I'm having to fucking get back into my fucking science classes from like decades ago, or just like look more into it, because like these people have no idea what they're fucking talking about. And these are the people that, you know, volume and temperatures, they just failed at their jobs and failed at life. And now they're, you know, now people that were electricians and veterans and people that had like fucking hard jobs, now we're having to like, you know, step up and try to explain how fucking stupid you are.
2.7 is the pressure. Now, you can review this footage, and from the ground all the way up to here, there is no physical barrier that.
Yeah, Lego collections. Yeah. See, like my friends are out like doing advanced firearm instruction to like the emergency, like to ERT. That, like I have friends that are like our ex-special forces. They were fucking badass warrior types when they were in, and then of course when they got out, they're like, I'm not fucking done. You know what I mean? And now they're out instructing high level stuff like shooting packages, like driving packages. I share this on my social media. They teach use of force, they teach edge weapons, they teach advanced combat all over the friggin' world. Authors now, like in the academic fields and stuff like that. Like they're so, yeah, and they're not LARPing. They were never people that LARPed and fucking like stayed at home playing fucking video games and, you know, jerking off to porn every night. Like, no offense, like none of that shit. And now they're having to step up because they were heroes and warriors throughout their whole fucking lives. Ambulance drivers and technicians. I have friends that are advanced care paramedics, you know, hard fucking jobs. Even women like my size, and they're friggin' badass women too. Helen Groos, she's like not a big fucking woman, and she's like fighting in the courts against Ottawa police services, you know, like because of like the mandates and the lockdowns and the and all that other stuff. And like, these are my friends. These are like, that's my community. We're not out playing fucking with Legos, like losers. No offense.
All the way up to
what is
you're a grown ass man
in pressure?
Oh yeah, and like even in my family,
dissipation of
like,
the
the guys are
pressure
out,
is
you know, like during hunting season, like various times of the year, they're out like doing like to provide for their families because it's healthier meat. Animals lived a good life. They weren't confined to a friggin', you know, like a little stall, you know, injected with steroids and hormones and all that other shit, like living a terrible, miserable life. You know, that people are getting their meat and their eggs and their cheese and their stuff like that from grocery stores. I'm like, yeah, from the cities, and I'm like, and you're fucking trying to push people out of their rural areas and the farm areas, people that put the actual work in to get our food on the fucking tables, actually make the gardens, which I have to do again soon, and I have to prep the soil and stuff like that before doing it. And these are the fucking assholes that are like trolling us.
relevant to how much gas is being introduced at the surface level.
Introduced at the surface level?
That
So
is
like over a rainforest, maybe. Is that what you're talking about? Like the trees are introducing
Yeah, that's another
pressure?
hard job too. Like factory workers, like people in my family, my sister and my stepbrother actually worked like in the warehouses too as teenagers. Like I'm telling you, like we were all fucking working even as kids, like on the farm and stuff like that. And factory, like that is on the assembly line, especially, that's a hard job. And it is mostly, well, like it was mostly men. This was like a couple of decades ago, but like hard fucking work. Hard work.
Air.
And it's needed.
Yes, McToon.
Okay. And then over the say the desert, maybe the same amount of pressure is there, and so the same amount of gas must be appearing.
Okay. You don't seem to even understand this, but I'm not going to let you do this. Are you effectively answering my question with questions?
Well, yeah, actually, I'm asking because there is this difference in pressure. You talked about a physical container, and I showed that there does not need to be a physical container.
Wait, when did you show that? Can you give us an experiment of there not needing to be?
This video right here. So down low, near the ground, 28.63 inches of mercury. Up at altitude, 0.26 inches of mercury, a much lower pressure. And
Much lower what? Lower what, McToon?
Oh, nice.
Lower pressure.
Okay,
and no
resistance there. It's still there.
Oh,
what's that?
That's a hard job.
Is the pressure? So there is still pressure there, correct?
Paramedics. I have family members that are too on the West Coast, not East Coast, and that's a back-breaking job too. And again, this is no offense, and this is why when I talk about friggin' like obesity, I don't mean to offend people like at all. Like I come from a loving place. Someone that's like, again, like a wellness coach and someone that's competed internationally, like in bodybuilding competitions and stuff like that, and also train people within the military, obviously as a platoon commander and a company commander. But anyway, people are getting heavier. And so like even for paramedics, right? Like these are people that like, there's a lot of like requirements that they have to pass, like physically and academically. And so they're having to like transport people like even like downstairs and upstairs and stuff like that, like people that are like and up over 300 pounds and stuff like that, like men and women. And it's causing a lot more wear and tear on friggin' bodies, let me tell you, and sprained backs and countless other things, but crazy.
Still pressure there. Yes.
Okay, so that doesn't answer the question. So can you explain why
my
the
God.
natural antecedents for pressure
and
is
addictions and everything like that through the friggin' roof? So like they're responding to so much friggin' crazy stuff regarding like around tent cities, like all over like cities now, like West End, East Coast, like there's just it's a fucking mess. Oh my God. And so paramedics see that as well. I shouldn't say that to a parent of a fucking paramedic, but just responding to people that are like drug overdosing and like in very crime-ridden areas now. It's just fucking, it's a disaster. Honestly.
containment, but you claim the Earth is not contained.
I just showed you that there is a pressure.
You just showed me
without physical containment, right? Without a physical barrier. Yeah.
You're definitely once again imposing that there isn't some physical barrier. It's called a presupposition. I'm asking you to substantiate your presupposition.
We can see there's no barrier because you can watch the video and there is no like container that it went through.
So your proof for there not needing to be containment is something going to a high elevation where there's still pressure.
Well, there's never a place where there's no pressure.
I don't need to know about the characteristics of your religion, Mattoon. I'm
This
asking
is a
you a
container.
simple,
That's my
basic,
point.
fundamental law of the
So
natural
when I was like
world.
showing like those examples, like this to me, like there's a physical, like this is my theory, is that this is there's a physical barrier that's being, well, I mean, that's being projected via hyperboloids and toroidal fields. Like I believe it to be like electrical magnetic fields that is containing this environment, but that this is like light in motion. So like we are just perceiving it to be as such, and we are in fact playing this possible video game via our higher level consciousness entity. I don't even know what to call it, right? And so like the mind or the brain via the central nervous system experiencing this cosmos or this reality through this avatar, this avatar, if that makes any sense. And so my point to all of this is like, even with like the flat earth and all of that other stuff, like I'm more of a true earther, and I can say that absolutely with what they're alleging to be the globe earth model, with the curve, with the earth curve calculations that they're providing, with the circumference and the radius they're providing, all of this stuff, that 100% is being debunked consistently.
The natural antecedent of pressure is containment. Can you provide any form of observation or
Again, he's like
experiment
showing like there's like zero, anyway, I hope this makes sense to people.
in which it shows that pressure can exist without container?
Right here, this one I just showed you. You asked that twice, and I've shown it's the same answer.
No, you're presupposing the nature of space.
Guys from the West Coast, sorry, from the East Coast, from Gaspé, they all went out west to Fort Mac and out in Edmonton area, and they're steel workers too, and they've done the scaffolding and the rigs, and it's mostly friggin' men still, and again, rightfully so. And like again, even women within these jobs, they do need more breaks. I know that sounds crazy. Like they're not gonna lift, as much as the guys are doing, and they're gonna need more recovery. And so yes, there is friggin' liabilities. I'm not saying there friggin' isn't, but like again, like this is where we're at, where like there's just like not a lot of men stepping up because MC Toon and Craig and Brenda are too busy either trying to pretend to be a fucking woman or they're trolling people at their desk jobs, and they're not helping with the friggin' like the work that's supposed to be done. Even with the electricians, like there's these two guys from Hydro One. I'm all over the place. I'm 10,000 hours in, but these guys like fucking helped me like save my ass in November, and it was Remembrance Day too, and they didn't even know I was a veteran or anything like that. But like, they're not supposed to come into the friggin' house, and that's why I can't even say their names, right? Or even tell their bosses or Hydro One. I can't even call and say that they're amazing and heroes to even give them like, I don't know, like some whiskey or friggin' scotch or money, because like I didn't have it at the time. But it's because they helped me get my power back on, and they were so friggin' nice. They came in the house and checked out the friggin' breakers and fixed it. I was alone. And again, they were so nice. They were not creepy at all, like super nice friggin' guys. And then they went outside and like they updated the electrical wiring on the back and stuff like that too. Oh my God. And yeah, like these are the fucking heroes of the world, in my humble opinion.
That there isn't a container and there's still pressure present in your experiment.
my ass.
So can you once again answer the question being asked?
So in my model, there is no point where the pressure is zero. There is always positive pressure. So just like on here, 0.26 inches of mercury, as you continue to go up, measurements have identified that it continues to reduce in pressure.
Okay. What happens if there's high pressure next to low pressure?
With lacking of force, they will equalize.
Okay, so high pressure will migrate to the low pressure?
Yes, but somehow, where this balloon is, it didn't happen. Strange.
It's still within the containment, Mattoon.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And so I'm like my point to that as well is like if they would have went higher or lower, this is like there are other factors to consider that he's not even like mentioning, like temperature variations and stuff like that. Like and so I'm hoping that makes sense. Again, like usually people that are watching are fairly aware of the reality of the world. And it's unfortunate that we now have people that are working in the friggin' rigs and stuff like that. Like, and my stepfather, he has like decades. Like he was a long haul trucker for many years. I actually went with him a few times on the road in the transport truck, the 18-wheeler. Fucking awesome. I could probably go it again, but he's in Gaspé doing it, and I'm here. But anyway, he has over 3 million miles logged, official miles, and that's just with his trucks. That's not like his own personal driving, and he does a lot of that as well. So he has over 3 million miles logged as a truck driver, and fully involved in the Freedom Convoy stuff as well. But anyway, I shouldn't even talk about that because I don't want to get him to have a target on his back. But and he's never had an accident, never had a friggin' accident, and he's never even had a speeding ticket. And he's been a long and short haul truck driver for like over 30 years, well over 30 years, and works his ass off. He's in his friggin' close to his 60s, if not, his birthday's on the 22nd of April, coming up soon. Anyway, but he works 6 days a fucking week, and he works long hours, and his driving, it's through the night. Okay, so he's a complete off schedule, right? So like during the day he sleeps, and at night is when he drives, and yeah, hard friggin' jobs, and they're isolating. It's lonely, and so I asked him to bring a dog, and anyway.
Exactly. There's another concession. Okay.
So yeah, the downward force is still containing it.
Oh, so you want to shuck and jive to the downward force? I'm more than happy to do so, bro. But are you conceding that there has to be containment?
For linesmen, are fucking warriors. They're out like these guys. Like in the I posted a few stories over the years too. Like I'm just like, this is where it's at. Like freezing cold temperatures or like storms. Like that's where these guys are out. Like it's freezing cold temperatures or like heat, like extreme heat. Like these are the middle of the night. Middle of the friggin' night, and like the firefighters too. Like like I have friends that are like with freezing cold weather in Canada. Like they're showing pictures of like their helmets with water like frozen. They're their friggin' outfits, their firefighting uniforms frozen. I've been frozen. I've shown pictures of my eyelashes frozen, doing winter warfare training and stuff like that in the Army. McToon has no idea.
For pressure, or can you provide an example?
I already said. And you seem to like go over these things over and over once I've said them. There is something containing the air.
You don't seem to understand the reason that this conversation is so reiterative and remedial is because you're shucking and jiving.
Yeah, you're trying to get me to concede something, and you're trying to get me to follow your script. I'm not going to do that, right? There is a containment, right? Something is containing the air, and it's not physical, because this video shows very clearly that there's no physical barrier near the ground where it's 28 is of mercury to up high where it's 0.16 inches of mercury. Now, there is something that's happening there and something pulling it down. And as you said, according to the second law of thermodynamics, the pressure will equalize, and it will happen fast and violently. This type of air pressure without a force.
And so the point of that is like the atmos is made of gases. There's other like elements as well, but again, if they're heavier than the gases I'm talking about, these are the ones that are at the higher levels, right? Because like the less density or mass, anyways, it goes higher, and these gases would violently, like he's saying, like diffuse or whatever you want to call it, like out through space if we didn't have a physical contained barrier. That's the point of all of this. So anything happening here regarding pressure and temperature and all the other fucking stuff within this cosmos, it's all like the atmos or the atmosphere, whatever you want to fucking call it. Like it's dependent on that.
Holding it, causing it to happen, it would very quickly equalize, but it doesn't.
Wrong. I already answered that because there's constantly gas being introduced to the system. It's a closed dynamic system.
Where is the measurements of this massive quantity of gas being introduced and that it going up high and then disappearing or something? You have measurements of that or something, or are you just asserting that because you've made lots of assertions? You're good
they're
at
all
that.
factual, my man.
Yeah. Okay. Then if it's factual, then you'll have evidence to support your assertion.
Are you disputing gases being created at the surface level of the Earth?
I'm disputing the quantity that you're claiming.
I haven't claimed a quantity, my man. You're the one big on numbers.
I don't think there are that many.
What?
So you are presupposing there's so much gas pressure, gas being generated near the surface that at 120,000 feet, there's nothing there.
Did you just say the word presupposed, bro? I asked you what the natural. I said
that's your word. Sorry.
That was funny. So I asked you, how do you explain that the natural antecedent to pressure is containment? You then showed me some footage of something going up high in the air and the gas pressure being a little bit lower. And I'm asking you, well, that pressure still present? Doesn't require containment? Okay, this is a natural law. You would have to provide some form of
There
evidence.
is containment. Absolutely, there's containment.
Yep.
Oh, so the Earth is contained.
The air pressure is being contained by a force.
Okay, so this pressure on Earth doesn't require containment because of this mystical force.
I just said it is contained.
No, a physical container.
Correct. It does not require a physical.
Okay, can this be recreated on Earth?
Sure. You can see the video right here.
No, you're presupposing the nature of the Earth. I'm asking you to recreate it. You're presupposing that there is no container. Do you not see what you're doing? This doesn't answer the question. You're presupposing it's called begging the question, Matune. That's all you've done this whole time. You're begging the question, bro.
This is empirical evidence right here. There was no barrier that this went through to get down to this very low pressure.
But very low what? We're going in circles. There's still pressure there. So it doesn't matter how you spin this. There's still pressure in your observation where it's at. I'm saying that the pressure cannot exist without containment. You are begging the question, and you're presupposing, and you're diverting.
Absolutely, yeah.
So he's demonstrating.
Do we need? If you go get air pressure in your tire, do you need the rim in the tire to put the air in it? That's what I'm asking you.
That's a different.
He was demonstrating like the behaviors that happen within a contained environment. He wasn't actually showing a contained environment itself, if that makes any sense.
There's no force doing that there.
Okay, so again, you're saying this is the only one time in the natural observable phenomena of the universe where we don't.
My brother-in-law, he's been in the family for 26, 27 years now. My sister's only 2 years older than me. But again, in my family, I wanted to be in a long-term relationship like my whole adult life as well, like my sister and brother. Didn't happen, but he's a contractor. He has welding, certifications and so many other friggin' things. He's built multiple homes, and hospitals. Right now he's working on the Olympic Stadium, but he's doing the structural stuff. So he's super friggin' high up on the friggin' beams, and he's I don't know too much about this stuff. He shows me the videos, and the photos and stuff like that, but he's so freaking high up, and so they have to be carabinered, the safety fucking all of that stuff. But he literally goes out on beams to connect them together and stuff like that, super freaking high up. This is all hard labor, and these beams are they're steel, and it's crazy stuff. And he's rappelling down these things or angled down, and literally it's just crazy stuff. And he loves it. Yeah, it's most people in my family, they've been in the what we would consider to be heavy labor jobs or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, blue collar. My sister, she was a stay-at-home mom until all of her kids were grown, and now she's a teacher, right? And she's working within the community, and she's also someone that she's had animals her entire life. Horses included, and chickens and gardens and stuff like that. And we're
don't need containment for pressure. Can you provide an experiment that can substantiate that is even possible?
Right here on screen.
You aren't understanding, Tune. You're presupposing the nature of the Earth. It's called begging the question.
What is being presupposed? You asked for an experiment where there is air pressure that's without a container, and this is it right here. We can see.
No, it isn't. You're presupposing there's no container, McToon.
Well, where's the container then?
Above it.
Where?
Why are you asking me
a container? Actually,
I don't know exactly where everything is, Mattoon. I know that this is a basic natural law. If you're questioning it or challenging it, you then have to be able to substantiate it. You are presupposing that there isn't containment and then saying, look, it's low pressure up here. That is retarded.
I said there is containment.
Yeah.
Okay. Physical container. Stop playing semantics. This is wizardry.
Yeah, you keep doing that. So
this is bad, bro.
So there is obviously no physical container between the ground and here to have that reduction in pressure. So here's the deal. In space, it just continues, right? So down at now on screen, it's 0.16 millimeters of mercury, right? As you go higher and higher, it has been measured to continue to reduce in pressure, so that when you get 400 kilometers up, 1,000 kilometers up, the pressure is extremely small.
Okay. Why?
That's it.
Yeah, but there's still pressure. We're asking, how is it possible that? How is it possible an ever-expanding infinite vacuum would be linear to a pressurized system? The natural antecedent to gas pressure is containment. Physical.
Again, but you won't actually support this assertion that the natural antecedent. Where is that? I know you heard Nathan Thompson say it, but where is the actual law that isn't from Nathan Thompson's mouth?
Okay, all observation shows that for gas pressure to exist, there has to be a container. Okay, so if you're saying that isn't true, then we provide evidence for that fact. Everything else provides evidence for my facts. I'm not playing your game. If I
just
pour
asserting
it needs a container. If I put gas into a box, it needs the box. Okay, you're saying that isn't the case. Can you provide an example? One single example will suffice, Matute. And this is not one, obviously.
Just a second.
Thank you.
Crypto Ultimate
messaging.
We were supposed to line something up 2 years ago, I think, or a year ago. When I was on Andreas Zertis, I went on twice, and I was talking about flat Earth then too, but he didn't follow up. And so, I mean, if you wanted to do a collab, I would absolutely do that. And also regarding friggin' Zachary Hubbard, really friggin' pissed me off yesterday. He keeps on slamming flat earthers, and it's just becoming more annoying because a lot of people have given him the benefit of the doubt for years, including me. But every day now, in his videos, and I'm liking, supporting all of that stuff, and I've donated multiple times to his channel. And but if he's just gonna keep slamming us, it's just exhausting. So I unsubscribed, and I'm not gonna follow him anymore. And it is what it is, because it's unfortunate, because I there are things that I do enjoy, but I'm just over it. Because I've repeatedly asked him if he ever want to discuss or debate flat Earth, and he's never going to do it. I've given my number, I've given my email address, and all that stuff. Nope. So you know what? Moving on.
Me. I have another guy coming at 10, and I think he thinks he's on a different time zone or something. So. All right. So I asked you made an assertion that the natural antecedent thing but you haven't supported that. You just said lots of more assertions. So do you have that? Because I haven't heard that as a natural law before. So could you show that natural law where somebody else is stating it?
It's pretty simple, bro. If you're challenging my assertion that gas pressure needs a container, can you just provide one singular example of this not being true, and then my claim would be wrong?
Oil's lost, and oil's lost.
Okay, so you're gonna just deflect from that assertion and just demand that it be true.
This is painful, man. This is why I almost didn't agree.
You haven't supported your claim. You're saying the natural antecedent. I say it again. How does
the natural antecedent to gas pressure is containment?
Yeah, and okay, so I agree to containment.
Physical containment.
Okay, so where is that stated other than just your statement or Nathan Thompson's statement?
In the definition of pressure.
Okay, so post it.
Okay. What? Oh my God. No, Matute, I'm not Googling for you, bro. Here's what I'm saying.
Okay, so you don't have evidence to support your.
Okay, so you're saying pressure doesn't need containment?
It does not need physical containment.
Yeah.
Can you provide?
Sorry, because we're on this topic about work and stuff like that. So there's this guy I talked to, and I've been following his account. He's hilarious. His name is Mr. Freedom BDR. I've talked about him before and shared his work. This guy, for years now, he's a roofer. So he's freaking does roof work, and he's been doing it for years, a number of years. And he drinks on the job. And again, I don't give it, to me, it's hilarious. And I don't care. It's not my business. It's not my whatever. And he posts videos, and they're freaking so entertaining, where he's doing roofing, and he makes skits and comedies. He has a freaking beard. He looks like a Viking. and he's just a man. You know what I mean? He does hard friggin' labor. He drinks on the friggin' job, like even on the friggin' roofs and stuff like that. And he has like a lot of fun with it, and he makes a lot of friggin' money now because of it. And so like, who would not want to have that friggin' job? And yeah, so his name is Mr. Freedom BDR. I think he's super censored, so you'd have to write like dot freedom.bdr. And man, like that is hilarious. This guy is fucking hilarious. And he wears these like freaking like big like pimp jackets too, like in some of his videos. And that's entertaining.
One example of
but
being
this guy's actually like, so he's that, but he's also super friggin' smart. So he's also a flat earther, and literally on his friggin' channel and stuff like that. I can't even make this up. He's literally like I don't know if he's, you know, like a regular drinker. Again, I don't give a shit. Like I'm a recovering alcoholic. Like this guy like seems to be a very functioning, you know, drinker. You know, he's doing friggin' roofing and stuff like that, and doing a really good job still. But again, like he's like sharing like research and scientific data that is destroying astrophysicists' arguments and theories and stuff like that, and engineers and PhDs and stuff like that. So like, just it's hilarious to watch. And like I'm like coming from like a poverty background, you know what I mean, in the woods, no running water, electricity, any of that stuff. Like to see this, it's just entertaining. Like it's entertaining. Like for even like a redneck to like just school like a Fauci, you know, or someone from the projects, like, you know, when Fauci went and he was trying to like make it seem like he's smarter than everyone, and like that guy like just destroyed his arguments. It's so funny. And then even Candace Owens, she just destroyed this rabbi's arguments. He was slamming her because she was calling out a rabbi, him and his daughter, claiming to be religious rabbis, but like they were selling sex toys, including butt plugs. And this guy was like shaming Candace and saying your behavior is inappropriate. And she's like, my behavior? You mean calling out people that are actually selling sex toys and dildos that are alleging to be rabbis and religious leaders? You know, and it just like the way, and she was way better at calling this out than me. But like, again, just because of her demographic and also being a woman, I'm sure that rabbi, like that was literally so probably infuriating to him and his demographic. And I was like, oh my God, Candace, I fucking love you so much for that. And again, just because like literally because of who you are, also it just adds insult to injury in some groups. And so, for example, there are some communities in the Middle East that think that you will go to hell if a woman kills you. And so there's been battalions and organizations where it's been women only, and it's been terrifying to some groups because they're like, there's no fucking way I want that group to go after me, because if there's a woman that kills us or me, then I'm not going to heaven. And so like terrifying, right? And so that's why people like if they were to die from a woman's hands, that's like, again, like that's like the worst possible death and insult and shame and not going to heaven and all that other stuff. It's all, again, like ridiculous things, but it is what it is.
Be able to do that in an experiment, and then I'm wrong. That's all you got to do. One singular experiment. I can do millions of
I gotta freaking share that. Yeah, you gotta, yeah. And if he needs workers or whatever, like I don't know, reach out to him, because that like whoever works on his team, like the crews love him, and he has like multiple teams and stuff like that throughout. And so
entertainment. So can you just provide one that would prove that I'm wrong, please?
Yeah, just a second.
Ew, yeah.
You keep trying to turn the tables, like bro, you're the one claiming that it doesn't need physical containment. Substantiate that claim.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, here it is on the screen right now.
That is presupposing there is no containment above this location. That is called begging the question.
And he's
but why is there?
So he's doing, so like he's talking about pressure, but like he's also showing like where like that, like there's light variations in the background, like dark to light, because of like where the positioning of the luminaries right now. Some of them, especially the sun, that gets positioned like where it's like heading from east to west, like away, you know, from this, obviously this view. This view, yeah, that's a good way of saying it. And so he's trying to make you, I think that he's talking about pressure. He's trying to make you think or assume that this right here is a contained environment that's containing gases underneath of it and stuff like that. So again, like this is also being dishonest.
Difference in pressure.
I've already explained this.
Yeah, without evidence.
No, you're trying to divert away from the very simple question being postulated.
Yeah. So you've made the assertion.
I'm just gonna scroll through a little bit. I'm 10 hours in, but
Okay, was that pressure without a physical barrier or containment somewhere outside of the experiment?
From the perimeter of the centrifuge to the center of the centrifuge, there's a difference in pressure.
Okay, what's outside of this experiment? What's outside of this reaction? A physical barrier, and we all know it.
So okay, so you still haven't substantiated that you've just asserted that you have to have this, and you absolutely won't back up your assertion. And I know why, because you just parroted it from somebody else. So that's fine.
So I just shared with you like where gases require a contained. They are in a contained environment. They were required, just like the propane gas, like the propane. Anyway, and so repeatedly, consistently saying it and arguing it and sharing examples is not working. And so he's saying, okay, so we're consistently showing you the reason why we believe that this is a contained environment is because this is a gaseous environment. The atmosphere is comprised of gas, and so it leads me to believe that with anything that we do. That's measurable, observable, and repeatable on Earth. Regarding gases, it requires a fucking container. Okay, so what we're asking you is, since we cannot see it anywhere within nature or within our experimentations and things like that, or naturally occurring in fucking nature, give us an example. Can't. Cool.
I kind of expect that. So. All right, what do you got?
Yeah, what? I'm gonna say it again. You're not diverting, bro. So you're gonna have to.
Oh my god! Again, I'm not an idolizer of people, but I do. And again, there's things that I don't agree with what Candace says as well. But I love a lot of. But again, there's a lot I agree with. In fact, she's like someone within the mainstream media that her and Tucker, I would say, and especially Jimmy Dore for sure, a lot more agree with, I disagree with. And Candace is like super, again, badass. She's a fucking mother. Even when she's pregnant, she literally owns people in her friggin' debates and stuff like that. And yes, some of them are people that are hired to ask questions, so they could be like, so they can have that discourse. But it's still good discourse, and there's still lessons learned that we get out of it. And so, like, from woman to woman, like, I deeply, profoundly admire and respect the fact that she's in this industry, because especially because she's gorgeous as well. And even with that, it comes with its own trolling. And she's like also speaking more accurately again about COVID. She was right about COVID. She was right about, Ukraine and Russia, Palestine and Israel, and she's getting so much hate, unfortunately, even by JP Sears and stuff like that. With Macron, she had some good arguments to substantiate the allegations towards Macron's wife, Jesus, being a man. Oh my God, and significantly older, right? And so 39 when Macron was 15, and possibly the school teacher, when he was in school, etc., and possibly being a man. And so JP Spears smeared Candace, like he did a video afterwards and basically said that he doesn't agree at all, and that he thinks that the first lady is indeed a woman, and was saying that was a hill that she was willing to die on. She never said that. She never said that, you know what I mean, like that if it turned out to not be true, that her career is ruined or anything no. And so again, like, I just don't understand why like men within the industry don't prop up women more, especially when they come out with more controversial things like that. You know what I mean? And if you're not going to support her, then at least don't be part of the crew, like a Tibrute. Like, they'll not be the ones that stab in the fucking back, rude.
Leave the stream, or you're going to keep getting the
Candace,
same thing.
If that was me, I'm sure Candace, like, she's very strong-willed and stuff like that, but I'm sure that probably hurt her fucking feelings. And it's like, what did she do to deserve that, right? It is what it is. From JP is what I'm talking about. Like, she gets a lot of trolls, but like from someone that's supposed to be also a truther, like, that's where it hurts more. And it's annoying.
even the moderator has to be honest and admit you aren't answering the question. You're trying to turn the tables onto me. Okay. So what I'm saying is the natural antecedent to gas pressure is containment. Yours is not substantiated with observation. All observation coincides with my assertion.
It's an assertion, and if you're not going to support that there must be a physical barrier, then you don't have an assertion.
Okay. If I blow air into a balloon, it's being contained and having pressure because of the physical container of the balloon. Can you explain to me how that could happen without a physical container?
There's a physical container in that example, yes.
Okay. In all examples of their pressure, there's a container. You're saying that isn't true. So can you explain, provide one? I provided my example, which I could do forever, of course. Now, can you provide one singular time that gas pressure exists without containment?
Yeah. It's on screen right now. It's Dwayne Kellum's video, his 24th video where he says he sees stars.
I'm losing brain cells doing this. So
pretty cool.
Okay, yeah, we've already addressed very rudimentary. That's begging the question. You're assuming and presupposing that there isn't a barrier, and you're just saying, "Oh, look, the pressure got lower. I got higher." Well,
he's not going to admit it. So even with this, yeah, and even in France, there are people in France, like independent journalists and people that have spoken out on also like giving more information, and so he's also dismissing them as well, right? And so this is painful. I know, like this, I'm going to scroll through a little bit. You're not wrong.
We can move on. Because I think maybe I know you like to get wizardry on us, right? So recap, he could not explain the black swan. Of course he can't. There is no explanation for all the viewers, just so you know. It's a literal death blow to the globe model. There is no explanation because the spherical nature of the earth necessitates a geometric horizon imposed by the radius, okay, that is not there. You cannot observe it. It's because it isn't there. The horizon is nothing more than apparent. He did nothing but shuck and jive, say refraction, not even actually claim or cite what type of refraction it was, and then he shucked and jived it. Okay, he shucked and jived the movement when I said to him, oh, there is an independent frame of reference to prove or substantiate the axial rotation. He shucked and jived it. I asked him about the natural antecedent of pressure being containment. He shucked and jived it for the last 20 minutes. Everyone has seen it. That's only 3 of the points dismantling your religion. And so this is what was expected to happen. I asked you beforehand if you were open-minded, if you'd be honest about the concessions. Clearly, you've demonstrated that isn't the case. But again, I'll leave this up to the third-party viewers.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, I completely explained using measurements, empirical measurements, and previously done experiments, how the black swan, so-called observation, is completely within the predictions of the globe model. I showed 5 detailed and rigorous measurements of the radius of the Earth, as well as several different confirmations of this curve of the Earth on mctune.net/curve. And the gas pressure here is completely predicted using gravity and the second law of thermodynamics. So lots of evidence that I showed, and not so much, a little from Austin. And so I'll say it again: when you double down in the face of contradictory evidence, and you cannot rebuttal the evidence, you're just exposing the flaw in your side. A very wise statement. So
yeah, premier version of it. That's a perfect example of inversion and self-projection, also known as wizardry in my book, because that's what you did this whole time.
So do you want to do some questions?
Sure, bro.
Okay, so I've got, we won't spend a lot of time on each question because they will right, but we'll take turns, right? I'll ask one from my audience to you, and if you have maybe some super chats from your people, you could ask them to me if you want. So, but let's just try to keep each to like a minute answer, just to be fair, because I don't know about you, but I got a bunch of super chats, a bunch of questions people asking. So let's see. If so Sean Hawkins says, if Austin can't quantify ether, how can he say it exists?
Okay, you cannot quantify the immaterial. So ether is postulated to be the absolute frame of reference, a universal background. It's a force field, a field of force. It's immaterial. You cannot quantify the immaterial. Dumb question.
Wow.
All right. You got one. You got one from me.
Like this Austin is
Nah.
so friggin' smart. Like I'm so impressed. Like
You
Yeah.
got this, man. I don't think that my people have any questions for you. They've seen you don't answer questions.
Seriously? All right. Well, people, if you have questions, send him a super chat. I appreciate Austin very much here. So
You don't have to super chat it. Just ask a question that you want to.
Ron says Austin has zero idea what a humble is. That's not a question. Hold on. I'll stick to questions.
what is a humble?
People who can't figure out that MC is not Mick shouldn't throw stones.
I don't call people that can't even rap MC. Why would I call you
I don't want me to rap. I'm telling you, bad news.
I believe it, bro. I'm not disputing that. I think we agreed on something for the first time tonight.
All right, here. GPS asks, how does GPS work?
Oh my gosh! So you're asking me to explain something based on a model that you're presupposing for me. That's weird. I thought we already covered that, but there's plenty of ways that it could work. Sat to loons, underground wires. 99% of transmissions are used with towers and underground wires. Next.
All right.
Yeah, ground positioning system.
Somebody buy Austin a sandwich. Apparently, he needs a sandwich.
Excuse me.
Let's see. All right. King Kong sex dungeon. That was a little mean. He said, Austin, do you like meth? I don't think that's fair.
Look at the gamma male behind his keyboard.
Let's see. All right. Anybody in the chat have any?
Yeah,
any
I wish
questions?
I would have fell upon Austin's stuff years ago. Also, I really wish it wasn't just in the last week or two. And I think it was November that recommended, and he is friggin' awesome. Like I'm no joke, so friggin' smart. And I'm impressed by every single interview I've seen so far. And you'd think that it would be saying the same thing over again, and he gets so many questions asked to him that it's what is that even friggin' mean? I'm on the Google, I don't even know how to spell it. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to figure, and he's just on it, and it's just yeah, he's really good. And Zetetic Warrior is as well, and he's someone that I just keep on as well. And I'm also very impressed with his friggin' knowledge and his response, his ability to think on the fly and stuff like that, especially on live TV. Oh my god.
Forum, tag me.
All right, I got a question. Someone's asked me to give you a question. All right, ask McToon where are his variables to prove his refractive conditions. Specifics, please.
The variables for the refractive conditions on which exactly? I guess for if we're to look at the refractive index for the coefficient of refraction is really the key. We got a couple. For the theodolite viewing. So those have been at elevations, those have been measured quite a while ago. Gauss did it. And he uses 0.13 is what he found. Now that was high elevation to high elevation. The US Geological Society uses 0.17 for their coefficient of refraction. Either's fine. They have slightly different margins of error when you do that. And but they do have when surveyors do vertical measurements, especially they look for overcast days with calm weather, so that helps a lot. So my goodness, a bunch of questions came in.
You just said something about measured variables, bro, but what are they? That was the question. He asked, what are the variables?
What are the variables? So when a coefficient of refraction is a compound, the result of a compound measurement, right? It's not, you can calculate it and you can measure it. And so you measure it with the reciprocal zenith angles by pointing two theodolites at each other, and the angle that they point at each other.
I'm the same way. Oh my god. Yeah, Austin is constantly in the anti-flat Earth forums on X, going 1 versus 50 and debunking and dunking on them. He has honed his arguments to the point where he can't be beat anymore. I freaking love this. Oh my god, he's definitely a warrior. Because again, it's And James, I'm the friggin' same way. I listen to smart people hoping it'll rub off somehow. That's how it works. I find I'm getting also like a lot more like informed, like a lot better at explaining flat Earth stuff just because just in the last week or two, like I'm getting better. Like it's something that I've known for years. I've been talking about flat for years, but like just like it's yeah.
Gives you the coefficient of refraction. It's based on the arc of the radius. The radius of the arc of the light between them. A 2.0 is about a 4,000 mile arc radius.
Okay, I got another question that they want me to ask you. Does water seek its own level?
Yes, it does.
Except for this.
So HubSpawn, flat Earth is idiotic. So you clearly didn't watch any of this video. Do you want to care to elaborate on your points as to why it's idiotic? Do you care to give any proof or rebuttals for anything that I've discussed or any of the data that I've shared? I'd be open to it.
Ball Earth, correct? It bends around this magical ball Earth.
Well, if you
Oh,
let's see, mc2.net/level, you'll find out that level has been defined as a curve for centuries.
All right, stop promoting your website, bro. We get it.
Well, I don't get any ad revenue. I do it just for free information for people. So, let's see. Austin, how did the celebrities faking their deaths and going to the hidden lands at the poles? How about the celebrities faking their deaths and going to the hidden lands at the poles?
I don't know anything about what actually happens. That's a dumb question because I have had speculative conversations because I'm a real one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if there's more land. We've been lied to about the nature of this earth. So how would I know exactly what it is? So if we've been lied to about the earth and you just refuse to break out of your indoctrinated bubble to even entertain that possibility long enough to see that your religion cannot hold its own, then how does that make me a crazy person for speculating about what we don't know? So, okay, next.
Okay. You got one?
No, man. I think
right.
everyone sees you don't like to answer questions, bro.
What are the internal angles of a triangle with sides measuring 1, 1, and
Are you
1?
serious, HubSpawn?
From Curtis Reynolds.
Is this a joke? Like you're another one of these trolls that come from his channel, aren't you? I bet you have been a follower of MC Tune and Craig for years and just subscribe and donate and LARP. Where's your points though? Like we've already debunked the curve. We've already debunked everything else he's talked about. So so if you're tuning in, you got a lot to catch up on. Can you refute any of the stuff that Austin or I have already discussed and proven? It's not about viewers. Again, this is the ultimate majority that these morons keep on pushing, right? The majority have been wrong throughout history, but a lot of things. What's your point? Again, give me some points or some facts, some scientific data that refutes my points, right? Prove the globe. Your religion, I hate to break it to you, it's based on bullshit. It's not a globe.
Sorry, what'd you say?
What are the internal angles of a triangle with sides?
In a physical horizon, a physical geographic horizon that he already proved doesn't fucking exist. What's your point?
Measuring 1, 1, and 1.
Not playing your game.
Sorry, Curtis. Phantom Ring is wondering what's 5 divided by 0.
Not playing your game. You think I don't know where these questions come from? Or y'all are, it's so funny. Why are we talking about 5 divided by 0? You can't substantiate curvature or axial rotation, guys. That means it's not moving and it's not a ball. That's a little bit bigger here.
Why does the Tropic of Capricorn measure smaller than the equator? Yet, if it were a flat Earth, it should be roughly 2,000 miles larger around.
Oh, yet if it was your presupposed flat Earth map that you had deduced shore metrics from? Okay.
HubSpawn, just out of curiosity, you don't have to answer, but what do you do for a living? What's your work? And what's your academic background? Just out of curiosity.
That's retarded.
No map. Okay.
It has nothing to do with yours not being real, Martin.
Well, it works, and this flight chart. Oh, it's kind of covered by your thing there. Oh, my flight charts that did a for Flat Out Hero was a good one. I still got them on the wall there.
The model works because it was all derived from the observations. Okay, so
exactly, and they work, and it's a sphere. So okay,
this is embarrassing.
940. So
I think we pretty substantially dismantled your religion in lifetime, my man.
Sure. Oh, hold on. Austin incompletely explained GPS by saying satelloons, which are passive reflector satellites. Can you finish explaining how the rest works?
99% of transmissions come through wires and underground towers or underground wires.
Wires, that's transmissions. That's not GPS.
Okay, you can triangulate the position with the transmissions, Martin.
The transmissions, so that the wire, the fiber optic cables going underneath the oceans, we can triangulate how?
I don't know, and I also don't know how that makes the Earth a ball.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Well, if satellites are orbiting the Earth and they are in the location that the GPS receiver gets, then that's tough because it's a three-dimensional space. So
I'll just explain to you about the satelloons. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and explain to you all of, you haven't even researched and I'm biased or you're a shill. So either way, this isn't my job to teach you, man. Okay, like the reason I'm saying that, bro, is because you're not being honest, bro. I gave you a fair opportunity. You've proven yourself to just be intellectually dishonest this whole time, bro. It's exhausting. So it's all good. Do you have any more questions? I think we pretty sufficiently.
all right, I'll give you one more. Is Bob from Globebusters an engineer?
As far as I know,
is Professor Dave from the stupid Professor Dave channel a real professor?
Okay.
Why is someone bringing up? Okay, y'all are pathetic. All right. Anyway, I think this has been pretty sufficiently handled. I've answered your little trollers questions from the Toon Squad.
I know this video is friggin' long. I still have to take my dogs out again. I'm just gonna show you just a video. I was trying to go off the Flat Earth Sun Moon Clock app, which I highly recommend people get, because all I'd have to do is just go on the app and then just search GPS if I was curious, and then a bunch of videos would show up, but it was getting a bit of a lag. And so I'm just gonna share it's a short video, but it's we like to call it ground positioning system, some people, but this is just one video out of like fucking so many that's out there. Sorry for swearing, but let's just see what it says.
Operating 24 hours a day, numerous nations maintain a network of LORAN transmitting stations to service the major shipping lanes. There are a pair here, for example, Sisconset and Bodie Island. One is known as the master station, the other is the slave. For a moment, consider these two stations operating as a synchronous pair, simultaneously emitting short pulses of radio energy. Leaving both shore stations simultaneously, a pair of pulses travel out into space, in all directions, at a constant speed, roughly 186,000 miles per second, or the speed of light. Plus, the pulse from the closer station will reach the ship an instant before the pulse from the other station. The LORAN ship board gear measures this difference in time of arrival in millionths of a second, or microseconds. It simply determines how much longer one pulse takes to reach the ship than the other pulse. Now, this same time interval will be observed at many points within the range of the two shore stations. And when connected, these points form a hyperbola known as the LORAN line of position. To aid the navigator in obtaining a fix, specially prepared LORAN tables and charts contain accurately plotted lines of position on the various time differences encountered in a particular area. Having one line of position, we then obtain readings from another pair of stations. An accurate fix is established at the intersection of the two lines of position.
I am not a blue dot. Anyway, sorry. I'm going to just keep on with that freaking video. There's other GPS ones I can share, but like I think that was just again just to give people a visual, because again these people's trolls are now coming over too, and so just got to keep on showing them proof, right? And they're like, oh, you're mean, nah, you're stupid, flat Earth is dumb. Oh no, I've never heard that before. No one's ever told me that before.
Let's see. Pageos-1, Pageos-1 was a satelloon that was used to measure the shape and size of the Earth. Thank you, Stringer News 1. Interesting. Should look that up.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah. Yeah, I think we can probably wrap it up here and move on. Thank you for your time, Austin. Thank you to your audience for listening. Maybe you can peruse some of the evidence that I put up on my website there and see if there's any truth to that. So, and with that,
of course, he's being painted like as a conspiracy theorist. All this bullshit. You know, again, this is just like another person that was telling the truth, risking his life and stuff like that in order to get the truth out there. And yeah, it's unfortunate.
I'm gonna disconnect here and I'll talk to my audience a little bit, and you can do what you want. So, sound good?
Yeah, man.
All right.
He's just gonna.
Thank you. We'll catch you later.
Yep.
He's just gonna like make fun of him and say really negative things, and then like put that on his channel and call it a day. And so yeah, I will leave it at that on that note. And I hope that everyone, and it's snowing here actually, so I don't know if it's snowing anywhere else, but yeah, people take a look at Bob Nodell's work as well. Anyways, I will leave it at that, and I hope that everyone has a wonderful rest of their day.